Live from New York, the show that hasn't washed their hair in about 5 days.
No, it's the
Good
show.
for you.
That's not true about the show.
It's good.
It's true about you. It's not.
No comment.
That's a weird thing, man.
No, it's not.
Leave you to bask in that.
I'm telling you, your natural oils, you
See, here
strip
we go.
out the oils
This-
in your hair,
you're
and then
right.
you re-put the chemicals in
Can I
your
tell
hair
you something?
to moisturize
Not
them.
only-
It's a never-ending cycle.
Not only is this a bad take, it's a recycled take from one of your arch rivals.
Who?
Mike Greenberg did this take on Mike and Mike 10 years ago.
I haven't been washing my hair since I was a little child.
Well, you know what? That's why you have to wear the toupee. It's all
Well,
falling out.
you're not out there sweating a lot. I mean, you're not doing that.
What does that mean?
It means if you were playing a sport,
You don't think I'm on my bicycle with my helmet?
After
I
your
don't
bike
believe
rides
those
in your
stories,
unitard, you're not washing your hair.
I'm wetting it.
You're not putting soap in it.
How did it get dirty?
You're gross,
Sweat.
bro.
How did you get
sweat?
Sweat the helmet.
Yes.
The helmet's clean.
You're sweating
Is it?
out
Oh,
all your
yeah.
It definitely
Go.
isn't clean now.
Come on,
helmet
You're
is
not.
clean.
It's with
Roll the
dirty
show.
hair on
It's
your
not
helmet
dirty.
every
My
day.
hair is never touching dirt.
What?
It's not. Your hair doesn't get dirty. You guys are part of Big Shampoo. Today, Wemby's on the brink. Are we expecting him to step up or put up another dud? Meanwhile, thought this was a handshake deal. That used to mean something. When I was growing up,
You can't just say that it was done.
I can say it used to mean something. I'll tell
we
you
don't-
that much.
but who reported?
Because it was
What
a
it means
handshake
now is you got a
deal.
mediocre receiving crew.
Correct.
That's what it means.
KW simultaneously believes the Pats receivers are great, and also they might need two better ones.
Yeah, that's
They
fair.
need one. They need one better.
totally agree with that.
It's a decent room, but
no
it needs
doubt.
a one.
Good.
You don't have a one.
Okay. Well,
I don't know. We were in the Super Bowl. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm crazy. The guy's the MVP.
You have the same
Mediocre.
receiving core
Enjoyed that.
that you were in the Super Bowl.
No, we're going to be even better.
Oh, okay.
Time for the most motivational segment in all of sports in about 58 minutes, the Bud List, and it's going to be good this time. Had to
always
float it.
good.
Oh, we had to float it last week.
We did.
We
had to
did
float
for
it.
the in Indy.
Yeah. We had it ready to go, and we said we don't want to do it.
That's not how I felt, Drew. It's not how I felt.
Wow,
Amazingly
Skillet, as the
brewed.
leader
You know
of the
the
show.
one thing we managed to do in Indy with, I think, Mario Andretti waiting to talk? Weird and Wonderful. That didn't get
People love
floated.
Weird and
We
Wonderful.
Made the
ran
legend-
some highlights.
Legend wait
Yeah.
for it.
Guess what? It's television. People love highlights. Okay? Highlights are just keeping the television industry afloat. You go to Best Buy, what are they running? People talking? No, highlights, baby. Starting San Antonio Game 6 tonight. Wemby Brew is on the brink of going home. His first elimination game in his young NBA career. Good news is, if Wemby outscores SGA, the Spurs are 2-0. Here's the game plan. Outscore SGA.
Is that one of your
Caveman
stats?
I have updated my caveman stats coming up later in the show.
Sweet.
Wemby this series, game 1 through 4, looked amazing. Looked like he's the best player in the world. Game 5, total dud. His 4 makes were tied for the fewest makes on that many attempts in his career. How much pressure is Wemby under tonight?
On a macro level,
Yeah.
not much.
Oh.
I mean, him and the Spurs have already
Had a-
gone way beyond what anybody thought they would do. You go out in 6 to the defending champions. You gave them a scare, at least, for most of the series. Nobody's killing you for that.
Yeah.
So on a macro level, it's fine. Nick, it's kind of like now LeBron would have gotten to a further level of the finals, but in 2007, he's young. He didn't play that well against the Spurs. They got swept. Nobody holds that against
I was going to
LeBron.
use I was going to use that point yesterday. We were talking about Wemby's awful game.
Yeah,
After his arrival game, we said was game 1. We compared that to LeBron's game 5
Right.
against the Pistons. And then LeBron was mediocre in those finals and nobody used
Yeah, nobody. I mean, it's
I do.
almost like people. Now, on a micro level, meaning the game tonight,
Yeah.
there's a ton of pressure. Because one, as you showed with the numbers, he's coming off by far his worst playoff game and probably one of his worst games of the season.
Yes.
And he hasn't been rebounding. They started getting physical with him. He's got 18 rebounds in the last 3 games. He had 24 in game 1. 17 in game 2, and now 18 in the last 3. So there's that pressure. It's against the team that you called out during the regular season. Like, we're better. Like, flat out, we're better than them. That's why I should be the MVP. and your personal nemesis. And at least in his mind. Now, Chet's like, what did I do? But for Wemby, that's his personal nemesis. So for all of those reasons, I think there's a lot of pressure on him tonight. I do think this, and I'm not just saying this. If he loses, I hope they win. Obviously, I hope they go to the finals. But if he loses this, it's going to hurt. But it's in the long run, it will be good for him. Because Jordan had intense pain from losing. LeBron had intense pain from losing. Wemby, if he loses his series, he'll go. He should go see Olajuwon again and actually use the moves that Olajuwon taught him in the post. All right? He'll realize he's got to get stronger. Jordan said, man, Detroit was beating me up in those playoffs, and I realized I wasn't strong enough to take it. So there's something like these 6-7 game series, man, they expose your weaknesses. And so he will have a list of his weaknesses that he can work on. Again, I hope they win, but it's going to be good for him if they end up losing.
So I think there can be positives if they lose.
I mean, I'm not saying it's the best thing.
The best thing would be to win the championship.
Yeah, but
like for Wemby's
he'll
path,
be able to grow from it.
I totally agree with that. I do think there is slightly additional pressure in the macro, not just the micro, because why all of a sudden did a team that after game 1 you had beaten 5 out of 6 turn around and beat you 4 out of 5? When the guys missing due to injury are on their side, not your side.
Yep.
You know what? Like that will be, I think, for the Spurs as a team as far as approach for next season. Obviously, the best approach will be all our guys are 24 or under. They'll just get better. Yeah. But that is very unique that a team that they, as of a week ago, had owned would then, if they win tonight, beat them 4 out of 5 games, including a couple times in their building and a closeout game. All of that, I think, will be, a cause for, to reflection and see what happens.
Absolutely.
I agree with Brew 100% on a lot of the greatest players ever have had their I believe they've arrived moment, only to then stumble for a bit shortly thereafter and then be better from it. So I won't make any sweeping generalizations about what it means for Wemby. It just will be he's no longer drastically ahead of pace for the legends he's trying to run down and more on the pace that they were. I also think there is additional unique pressure to Wemby in this game tonight that his team has done him a disservice on preparing him for, because the best coaching adjustment every championship team has had is our superstars basically going to play the whole game. And I took what I believe to be the 7 best big men ever, the 7 best centers ever, and their minutes per game, the playoff run the first time they made the finals. And we can show that to you and compare. And again, I understand you can say, well, Wilt was 70 years ago. That's fine. But Jokic was a few years ago. And they're all basically 40-ish. Moses, which isn't a lifetime ago, a long time ago, 45 and a half. Akeem was 38. Shaq 38. Wemby's at 32 this postseason.
That's incredibly low for the postseason.
It's incredibly
Not just
low.
For centers. No, for superstars.
For superstars, it's incredibly low.
You took out the...
For this one, I did the whole thing. Even with those games out, it's like 34 and a half. The game where he got ejected. I just did the whole thing. The
concussion game.
The concussion game and the ejection game. If you remove it, it's like 34 and a half.
Okay.
But it's still way below pace because... If we did the regular season version of this, his regular season minutes are way below pace. You cannot ask Victor Wembanyama to play 44 minutes tonight. You can't do it. And
you can.
Well, he played 50.
Exactly.
So he in his entire NBA career, he has played 40 minutes once in a regulation game. I understand that in the game that went to double overtime, he played 39, until double over. The overtimes he plays, obviously. I don't think they're going to ask him to play 44 minutes.
If he has to, he has to. I'm sorry.
So got the whole year.
So you think they will, Brew?
I mean, I think they'll read the game, and if they have to, I think they'll give. If the game's going well for them or they're in it, they'll give him his normal rest. But if they lose a lead and there's a big run by OKC when he's out, I think they're going to want him to play more. And I think you agree with this. This is a Spurs thing. Like for the last 12, 15 years, whatever, they have limited minutes dramatically. Like I don't know if you have it, who's averaging the most minutes in the postseason for them? And how many is it?
No, I think it is Wemby. I think Wemby's averaging. Well, I guess if
everybody
you remove,
They play guys. They don't play guys like in the regular season. There were years Tony Parker, Duncan, those guys would play 30 minutes. So I think the Spurs need to adjust. And you make a good point that in the playoffs we're gonna need you to be used to playing more minutes.
I don't. The fact that he has not touched 40 minutes in this postseason, except for the double overtime game, says to me they don't feel comfortable doing it to him. And
some of it too was games like Portland, obviously.
No, of course, there's outlier events and there's extenuating circumstances. But game one couldn't have been a closer game. And at the end of regulation, he was at 39 minutes. I think I agree with you. It's a Spurs thing. It also is much like the game he suffered the concussion, where I was like, I've never seen someone quite fall like that. Everything about him is unique. And the balance of, because of his size, trying to protect him from wear and tear over the course of the regular season, balancing that with getting him ready to play the types of minutes that all the other guys on that MVP top 5 list are going to play in the playoffs. Sure. It's just a very unique spot that he finds himself.
A part of that should also be playing more inside, where he's not chasing guys as much.
I agree with that.
Or even having to do as much offensively on the perimeter.
Can I go back to the pressure, and I'm going to put a twist on what you said, Brew. You took it as from macro and micro. I did the same thing, but external and internal pressure. Externally, I think we all agree there is no pressure. Very similar to the gold medal game in the Olympics, where Wemby was going up against this team, starters, Steph, Devin Booker, Durant, LeBron, and Embiid. Wemby took the court with Yabusele, Batum, and Ntilikina. Great Nick, Ramsey, I know, but I think it's overmatched.
Not a great Nick.
Yeah, I liked him.
He was a nice guy.
He became an energy guy. Yeah. After the game, Wemby, who led all scorers, USA, and was a silver medalist, and he was even younger than he is now, obviously. This is the video of Wemby, and this was just I think a fan video. In the documentary Court of Gold, he goes back in the passageway, and he's really distraught. Like, he thinks he should have beaten Team USA.
And I think part of that has to do with him skipping. The other part of this is him skipping the media after Game 5,
yes,
which I think is a cousin of this.
I totally agree.
I think that he is, and usually this is a pejorative. I don't really mean it this way. I think he's a sore loser. In that
Some people have those viewpoints.
Yeah, not. Sometimes a guy's a sore loser and they're just like a poor sport and just flip a board game table over. What I mean is, he is part of his maturation, I think, is learning to deal with the inevitability of some losing. And
I think a lot of the greats, though, have been like that. I think Jordan was like that. I think LeBron. I tell you the story yesterday, but LeBron didn't talk to the media.
But then he learned to deal with it.
Right, but I'm saying, like, I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that drives these guys to want to win.
He's right there on the surface. Like, there's famous clips of Kobe with Jim Gray just furious after they lose the finals. And he's like, I'm not going to rest all off.
But so because Wemby's never been in the playoffs, almost all of his season-ending moments have been, so what we think is the genesis of his feud with Chet. Yeah. Was that under-18 international tournament or whatever, where Wemby outplayed Chet, but they lost.
Yep.
and Wemby was disconsolate after, and we think has like a vendetta against him since then. You're showing the Olympics. They obviously didn't lose the series in Game 5, but that's the closest they've come to it's the first time they've, really been in trouble in his playoff career. We don't know how all we know is he whispered something to Plumlee and Biyombo and then wasn't seen again. It does, and I think some of that might be, as you talked about, he has all these giant goals of, I want to be the greatest ever. I want to win all the awards. I want to stack up the trophies, all of that. And I do think that weighs heavily on him. And I'm very curious to see how that plays out tonight.
Yeah, is it going to be 20 rebounds or 5?
Yeah, and is he going to burn himself out early?
Internal pressure. I think he feels a ton inside because of what he wants to accomplish.
Okay, moving on to the other side of the ball. SGA, he's on the verge of going back-to-back finals. He's been great in closeout games. His last 3, Lakers, he had 39 minutes, 35 points. Suns, he had 38 minutes, 31 points. Pacers final, he had 40 minutes and 29 points. In all his closeout games, he's 7-3 and averaging 30 points, 7th most of all time. So he's going to step up. What would a second straight finals mean for SGA?
Well, it's just another major accomplishment. And so, look, I don't think, certainly not right now, SGA is as good as these 5 guys. But these are the 5 guys that have won back-to-back MVPs while also reaching back-to-back finals. Win or lose the finals, but reaching back-to-back finals. It's legendary. Jordan, LeBron, Steph, Bird, and Russell. And he will join that group.
It's wild.
So it's just another accolade where he will put himself alongside a lot of the all-time greats. Secondly, Nick, it'll separate him from his generation of players who have won championships recently. Like everybody that's won a championship in this decade, I'm not including LeBron and Steph because they repeated before this decade started. But Jokic, Giannis,
Tatum's been to 2. Yes.
But not were they back? They weren't.
No, they weren't back to back.
Right.
No.
So Tatum and Jaylen Brown. So those guys, none of them will have went to back finals.
Yep.
So he's separating himself from that group. And so also, this is interesting. He doesn't have a teammate that's played regularly. Jalen Williams was averaging 17 points this postseason. He doesn't have a teammate averaging more than 16 points a game. Chet is like 16.2 or something like that in the playoffs. So him leading them with their their second best player injured, nobody else scoring big, all the pressure's on him. Like, I know he wasn't great in Game 5 efficiency-wise. They needed that 32 points. However you got it, they needed it. And so that would also be a huge accomplishment. So I just think that he's racking up these accolades, and you got to give him a lot of credit for it.
It puts him in pole position of his generation in a way that I'm not ready to put him in yet, even though I think they're going to win the series. So by his generation, I mean guys, superstars post Steph, LeBron. So it's Luka, Jokic, Giannis, Tatum, that group of guys. He won't have the most MVPs. He'll be tied with Giannis and just behind Joker. And he won't have the most finals appearances. Tatum and Brown will have this. And Tatum to me is the better player. So Tatum will be tied with him. But the combination, the fact that nobody of this generation, or mini generation, however you want to put it, has had anything close to a title defense makes just getting back to the finals weightier. The fact that we 7 years in a row, the defending champ has lost in round 2 or earlier, makes getting back there, even if they don't win it, you know what I mean, all the heftier. I do, and maybe this leads to, what we're going to talk about next. I do find it interesting that at least it feels for me, and I think for Brew as well, that it's not begrudging respect. It is earnest respect, but a lot of, hey, here's what the accomplishments and numbers say. Now, am I saying his picture belongs beside those guys? I'm not, but his picture's alongside those guys. Right. Am I saying he is the 5th best guard of all time. I'm not. But the accomplishment's saying he is. It's a very, and I don't know how much of that is the call stuff. I don't know how much of that is personality. I don't know how much of that is maybe it's small market bias that's infecting my Kansas City brain. I don't know. But doesn't it feel like a lot of the SGA stuff is, well, here's what the numbers say, as opposed to fervent, let me explain to you why I feel like he is as great as these guys, which is a unique spot to be in.
Yeah, it's not totally dissimilar to how we talked about Jalen Hurts, but he has the counting stats.
Yeah,
where,
definitely.
Look, all he does is win, but there's something about his game that people don't like. There's an element of referee, official manipulation, whether it's the tush-push or the flopping. And I was the ardent Jalen Hurts defender. And in this one, it's just, I don't know. It sounds so.
To your point, though, he has the numbers.
He has the individual accolades. I don't think we need to talk about Jalen like that if you want back-to-back MVPs.
But it also feels a little bit of, look, Celtics won, Nuggets won, Bucks won. We rarely talked about the GMs that much.
No.
We talk about Sam Presti a lot. We talk about Howie Roseman and the team that he built a lot. Yeah. It almost ends up zapping some of the superstar point guard quarterbacks accolades because if you take them off that team and you put in an average guy.
So
that's because they not without
not
him
with
necessarily.
He's the one constant. But the other guys seem
weird. Able to roll.
All of a sudden, it's like, man, they really miss A.J. Mitchell. Nobody talked about A.J. Mitchell.
Right.
A.J. Mitchell makes $3 million a year.
Let me say this quickly, though. It also sets him up to really be knocked down. Because if he gets to the finals and he is outplayed by Jalen Brunson and they lose, we talked about it this week earlier. There will be people saying Jalen, if Jalen outplays him, even if it's a little close, but Jalen's better and the Knicks win, there will be people saying Jalen Brunson is better than SGA.
Yeah, I think
and
that's
so
fair.
it does, with all the criticism of his flopping, and then if he gets outplayed by a 6'2 Jalen Brunson, it'll knock him down a peg or two.
It's a little hearts and minds going on.
Yes.
Leads us to our next conversation. The chatter around finals floppings reached the commissioner. A series of flops in Game 5 gained unwanted popularity. There was a popular one online. Commissioner Adam Silver joined Pat McAfee's show and said this: there's a difference between selling a call, exaggeration, and a true flop, which is where you're actually fooling the referees. But to me, if they're not fooling the referees, okay. Players are taught to sell calls these days. Do you expect there to be less flopping in Game 6?
No. And I expect, sadly, and this is why I made the point I made yesterday, that Adam Silver doesn't understand the war he's fighting. I expect there to be more, because I think the Spurs are going to be like, we got to do it too.
Oh.
I think Stephon Castle's like, you know what? You know why I don't get calls? Because I play through contact. I guess that's dumb. And I don't know Adam Silver. I've shook his hand. Everyone I do know that knows him holds him in such high regard and respects him so much. But I think he is truly missing the mark on this. And the fact, do you guys know how many flopping fines there were this year? The whole season, whole league, everybody.
I don't remember one.
The answer is 0.
Which is crazy.
Were there flops?
There's probably one.
There's probably one, right?
Yeah.
And
There was a few years ago.
I'm not saying there's never been any.
But it felt like there was a push to eliminate it.
Just like there was a push to eliminate the Trae Young stop. The dribble, get in front of the guy, stop and fall over. There was a push to eliminate that,
we saw
and then it went away. There was a brief push of, you get a guy up in the air on a jump shot, and then you jump towards him. That's an offensive foul.
I like that.
That's gone. And I believe this with all my heart. He's right. There is a difference between selling a call, exaggerating contact, and flopping. But closing your eyes and covering your ears and acting like what we've been seeing isn't a rampant increase in outright flopping, I think is inaccurate. I don't think it's collective internet psychosis making us think this way. And I do think, Brew, that if the team that, fair or not, is the poster child from it, keeps winning, other teams will feel like, and other players will feel like, we have no choice.
Understandably.
Yes.
Look, that was a bad quote by Adam. there's a difference between selling a call, exaggerating a call, and flopping. According to NBA.com, this is the rule of what a flop is. Exaggerating the effect of contact with an opposing player to either fool the referees or fool the fans into believing the referees missed the call.
Oh, fooling the fans.
So this exaggerating a call, they use as an example, if a player falls to the floor following minimal contact. We are seeing that every third series or possession with the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Yeah.
And so there's not a difference in exaggerating and flopping. And the rule says if you are called for flopping, it's a technical, like a non-unsportsmanlike technical. The other team gets a free throw, a technical free throw if you are called for a flop. You don't get ejected if you got 3 of them or 2 of them or whatever, but the other team keeps getting a free throw.
So it's like a delay.
This.
I agree.
That's why
it would be so embarrassing.
Yeah.
It would be but I've never, Brew, I didn't know there was a technical rule on the books. I thought it was just a retroactive $5,000 fine. I've never seen it called.
No, remember what they get called? I remember Marcus Smart got fined for one, like a few years
but
ago.
I don't remember.
Or got called for
okay,
something.
so but it's just
I might be.
If you're right, OKC. If I was OKC, I would come out doing it because it's been working for us. And if the referees call it once or twice, it might take more than once or twice. Or don't give them the calls. You just don't give them the calls. They would stop doing it.
In the first quarter of a lot of these games, the refs aren't giving them the calls. But what they're certainly not doing is this unsportsmanlike. They're just ignoring it. But they keep doing it. And then at some point, I think it's just I think officiating NBA basketball is incredibly difficult. You see guys on the ground enough, you're like, shoot, I got to call it.
A.J. Brown not going to the Patriots. What's going on?
KW's
Next on FS1 and Fox Sports Channel, Sirius XM. How's the podcast doing, Gianna? Number one in the world, she said. Number 2 in the world?
2.
No, Gianna said number 1. And our YouTube channel has been great.
Knowledge I've gotten from you that you can just lie on TV. You can just say whatever on TV.
I'm not lying.
Just anything.
The different categories. New York City podcast about sports on the Upper West Side / Hell's Kitchen.
I was a high school All-American basketball.
I'm saying we're number 1. Geo-tagging is the big thing nowadays. We're nearing what New England is being called A.J. Brown to the Patriots Day after weeks of reporting, breathlessly, that the Eagles wide receiver will likely end up in New England after June 1st because we're trying to do the Eagles a solid to save some cap space.
That's not
a handshake deal.
That's not what it is.
That's what was reported, a handshake deal. Hold on, says Ian Rappaport. Patriots are not willing to give up a first-round pick as of right now. That means they're not particularly close, and that means there's a chance this could drag on for their foreseeable future. No other teams were mentioned, but there's an idea that this could drag on for some reason.
Well, should I be worried? For some reason.
What?
It's for the same reason any trade that ever doesn't get done or gets delayed. They are arguing about what they are trading for.
Then what was the handshake deal?
Again, who did we report handshake deal?
We don't report anything.
Right.
We sit here all day.
No, they're
out there pressing the flesh.
There's been a lot of fuzzy reporting about
for sure.
We expect this to happen. That they have, they have agreed in, to general terms.
Yeah, in print.
I've
heard it's likely happening.
Yeah, but
I don't know if I've seen in
But here's what I do know. It's not like there's an anti-tampering window going on, or it's not like sending out a press release initiates a new cap charge. If there was ever a deal totally done, either team absolutely could have said, or joint press release, hey, the Patriots and Eagles have agreed to trade A.J. Brown to the Patriots. The trade will not be sent into the league office until June 1st for salary cap purposes, and here are the terms of the deal we've agreed upon.
Do we know that that's 100% allowed to happen?
What do you mean?
That that you're allowed to get it all the way over the finish line and just not
Well, we
submit
saw.
it.
I mean, I would
Well, it happens
argue
in free agency the first few days, before they can officially make a trade. But it's a danger. Because until it's actually agreed upon with the league, it could change.
Well,
we saw it. I mean,
that's what I was going to say.
Physical, but with the
the Ravens
there's a danger
announced they had agreed to a trade for Max Crosby before it was done with the league because he didn't pass his physical.
Yeah, that was.
And so regardless, should Wildes be worried? I guess it depends on what you think of this picture, because this right now is the Patriots' current pass catching depth chart. And I know all of a sudden I think you're going to try to sell me Romeo Doubs is awesome. He's had one 700-yard season in his career. That's the pass catchers on the roster. And I know you say they were in the Super Bowl last year because they were.
Yeah.
But the best pass catcher on that Super Bowl team is not in that picture.
That's true.
Are you comfortable?
Who's our lads? They're like our friends or something?
Oh, the number one depth chart. It's where everybody uses all the depth charts because the NFL.com and the team websites don't update them in real time.
Gotcha.
So that is the go-to source.
There was a mistake, I believe, on a major depth chart broadcaster, which had A.J. Brown already on the Patriots.
Okay, so that's not that is their depth chart.
Gotcha.
That is their top 8 pass catchers. Do you feel comfortable going to war with that? With that?
I expect moves to be made.
So if you
I expect A.J. Brown to be on the Patriots.
So that is.
And if he's not on the Patriots, I read an article today about Debo joining the Patriots, who wanted to be on the Patriots years ago. We didn't draft Debo. So I'm like, now these articles are starting to pop up.
So this is why I'm asking, and sorry for the long lead up to it. If you're not comfortable with that being your depth chart, and I don't think you should be, then Howie Roseman has the upper hand in this negotiation. Then you guys are going to have to pay more than you want to, because you guys didn't address the position because you believe you have this deal done. And if it's true you don't want to give up a first, my guess is Howie's going to be able to pry a first out of you.
See, I think this is and I don't know what the handshake agreement was. I think this is the Patriots, and you may be right about Howie Roseman, but this is the Patriots saying, for a month now, it's been widely reported that the Eagles are trading A.J. Brown to us. There's no way they can bring back A.J. Brown. We have the leverage.
Oh, that's interesting.
So let's try to squeeze and get what we can. The only danger is if another team, and as far as reports, the Chiefs, the Jags, the Chargers have been linked in terms of reports. If I'm A.J. Brown, now I would gladly go to the Patriots because of Drake May, but I'd rather go to the Chiefs if they want to get involved. I'd rather go to the Chargers. Or at least as much. Like the Chargers going to be good. And the Patriots are good too.
I don't want to keep showing this video, but A.J. Brown wants to be on the Patriots. He has a tight personal relationship with Vrabel. He loves the Patriots. He's getting an Edelman jersey. He gets his Brady's jersey. He's over the moon. And he was on Edelman's podcast. And with Gronk, he says, we're all Patriots.
You know what?
And he delivers
everybody
a nice little wink. So I assume this is going to get done. And there was another podcast I listened to today with Taylor Keys, who's basically laid out the plan for, we've got our offensive line the last 2 drafts. If we get Christian Gonzalez signed, that secondary is taken care of. We've got a quarterback in the previous draft. So what are you looking for, really? A number 1 wide receiver. So whether it comes from the 28 first round draft, or you give you that pick to get A.J. Brown right now, it doesn't matter.
I think it would be a good trade.
That's what I'm saying. Just give up. If we can give up a second round pick, fine. But if we get up a 2028 first, sure.
But this report was they want a 2027 first.
Oh,
not
27.
See,
no, it's 28.
No,
I always thought it was 28.
No, that's what what Rappaport said is that the Eagles want A first-round pick this coming draft. You're
I thought it
talking
was
about
28.
a first-round pick in 2 years.
Yeah, I thought it was 28.
So you wouldn't give up a 27?
I'll give up whatever. I don't care. Just get A.J. Brown on the team.
Well, that's
Honestly, get
Your
A.J. Brown
window,
on the
you
team.
got your quarterback
That's right.
on
Just
the
get
rookie
A.J. Brown
scale.
on the team.
Go for it now.
I don't care.
Here, can I just, because just real quick before we move on. What will your level of panic, I'm going to ask that, panic be if A.J. Brown gets traded somewhere else?
Panic is a good question. Panic. A level 7.
Okay, all right, fair.
Out of 100.
You'll
Level
just
7 out
turn
of
your
10.
attention to Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, just sign
He's not
Stephon
as
Diggs.
good,
He wants to
but-
be
You
back.
could have kept, okay, never mind. They didn't want to keep Stephon Diggs.
Just
Stephon
like,
Diggs,
it's just
and
a salary,
you know
it's
what?
just
And
moving
if
some
we're gonna
salary
do
around.
if we're gonna do the social media stuff, Stephon Diggs been flirting with plenty of teams.
Stephon
And
Diggs
not-
does
probably
a
not
lot of
just
flirting,
teams.
my friend.
Yeah.
That's not right. Vikings are at OTAs, where the relationship between Kyler Murray and J.J. McCarthy is either great or non-existent. Depends who you ask, bro. So first we're going to listen to Kyler, and then we're going to listen to J.J. McCarthy. Let's listen to both quarterbacks.
It's been great. Obviously, I know he's a younger guy, so any way I can help him. Obviously, I feel like I've played 7 years now, going on 8, so I'm considered a veteran, even though I don't see myself as that. Give him any knowledge that he needs. Again, we're both competitors, and I know we both want what's best for the team.
It's just like two guys in a classroom. He sits on one side, I sit on the other side, and it's the coach's responsibility to teach us and coach us.
Is there any awkwardness between you two?
Awkwardness, it's just like the same feeling, when you're in high school and there's another person on the other side of the room. That's just kind of how it is. So I wouldn't say there's any awkwardness.
Buddy, what did you reminds me of Dwight Howard and Stan Van Gundy. Like we talked to both guys.
That was really
like that didn't work at all.
That was really awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, look, this is football. This is competition. I think his JJ's analogy about high school is appropriate because it's like now to him it's a real competition. Like we might be great friends. I don't think they are, but I'm just saying I got to beat you out. We're going to see who's the best quarterback. Like it's legitimate competition.
Yeah.
Kyler I think is more comfortable because he feels like probably they told him, but like it's his job. I get it from JJ, like he's fighting for his football life. And that's just, it is competition. I think it's going to be Kyler. And if Kyler plays well, then JJ will have to settle into either a backup role or maybe go on some reclamation project like Darnold or whatever, Geno Smith. But JJ is a competition.
So I don't mind him feeling that way. But if this is a competition, he just hurt himself in it. That is, I have been pretty critical of Kyler Murray, the player, throughout his career. I got to tell you, I watched that press conference. I was like, the guy's a mature adult who gets it.
Yep.
That Kyler, he told us publicly, I think via Instagram, about the disappointment and the level of failure he felt by the fact the team drafted him number 1 overall, wanted to move on from him. So he has plenty of reason to feel some type of way as well. And he handled that like a pro and like an adult and gave the exact right answer. And J.J. McCarthy can feel however he wants to feel. It is very simple how you answer that question.
Yeah.
You lie if you need to lie, and you say, listen, we both believe we're starting quarterbacks in this league, and I'm excited to be on the practice field with him, and we're going to hopefully at the end of the time, Coach KOC feels like he has 2 awesome options at starting quarterback. In the meantime, in that meeting room, man, he's been in the league. This is a veteran. He's the number 1 pick, Heisman Trophy winner.
Him, yeah.
Been in the league 7 years. I've been trying to pick his brain, learn as much as I possibly can. Even if the moment he walks away, he's like, I hate that guy. I hate him so much. He's taking my team.
He also hasn't been that good.
Who?
I mean, I don't mind this from Jay. It's
Really?
it's freaking football.
But it doesn't look.
They don't have to be best friends.
No, but you have to look like a pro.
Here's what-
and like an adult. That didn't feel like an adult answer.
Brew,
it
I
did feel
pulled-
like a high school answer.
And granted, Ben DiNucci's longtime backup, but also, longtime pro.
Yeah.
Who?
Ben DiNucci.
He was a long,
Okay. Yeah.
But
He's been DiNucci. He's not J.J. McCarthy. He wasn't. What was he? The
Nevertheless, he's given advice that's sound advice. JJ, this is the NFL, brother. This type of attitude doesn't fly at the QB position. You have too many people watching how you talk and act. Man,
That's how Ben DiNucci stays in the league.
it works.
But J.J. McCarthy is not the only thing J.J. McCarthy has going for him is draft position.
That's it.
That's it.
Look, I get what you guys are saying, but I also don't think anybody is going to look at that as, I mean, he's like, I'm here to compete. Like, I don't want him to be happy. I want him to take this as a knock, and I got to go get better.
I didn't look at that as somebody his answer there did not scream to me just fierce competitor. It screamed to me immaturity. That's the
fact that he was talking about two guys in a classroom, it's also just when you're talking about high school.
No, and
it's just a bad look as well.
Yeah, that's
one guy seems like a veteran leader, and the other guy's talking about his high school days.
He's been in the league 7 years.
Yeah, I think it's a bad look.
I agree.
I think
Look, you're a fierce competitor.
It's fine.
I don't think.
I guess so.
The problem is he might not be that good. It's not
an issue too.
Said something about
Vikings host the Packers week 1. Golden Corral Prime Performance brought to you by Backyard Grill, only at Golden Corral. Game 1 of the NBA Finals in San Antonio or KC, we don't know. Next Wednesday, Knicks are resting, the West is playing. Do you think the Knicks match up better with the Thunder or the Spurs?
I'm really curious what Bruce says here.
It's a good question. I mean, obviously with the Thunder, if the injuries are still there, Jalen Williams and A.J. Mitchell, I hate to say it because I think I got the Spurs as the pick to win it all, but if I'm the Knicks, I'm thinking we beat them 2 out of 3. We're better now. Mm-hmm. The Spurs, they beat 2 out of 3 in the regular season. We lost to the Thunder twice in our 2 meetings. And they're so inexperienced, and you see some of the youth and inexperience coming out of the Spurs here and there in this series. They probably want the Spurs. And you probably also you might want to play Wemby. You might want to beat Wemby. Say we're going to beat him.
That's the chant outside.
So I wouldn't be surprised if they want the Spurs.
So I think the Knicks bigs are the exact right combination that you would want to have if you have to go through Wemby. It's the model I think some Western Conference teams should look at it's hard to find players like this. But
I mean, OKC's is somewhat similar.
It's
Chet
supposed to be,
outside,
except exactly right. Except Chet seems prior to Game 5 to just be not up for the matchup and can't lean. Cat is such a unique talent when he's playing as well as he's playing right now, in that he is a legitimately great three-point shooter, but also is big and strong and can lean on you in the post in a way Chet can't. But I'm saying a big who can pull Wemby away from the basket, and then a big who can, I think, match Wemby's rebounding ability. I know Mitchell Robinson doesn't
Cat's
have.
one of the Cat's one of the best rebounders in the league.
Cat's been great rebounding all year, and Mitchell Robinson's uniquely talented at offensive rebounds, and on a per minute basis is about as good of a rebounder as there is in the league, and is a guy I like, a big who you like having out there, but you also don't mind in 4 fouls in 9 minutes. You know what I mean? A guy who you don't have to worry about foul trouble with Cat. But my answer to this is, I actually don't think right now it matters. I think the Knicks are simply playing at a higher level than either of these teams by a decent margin. And they are far healthier and obviously going to be better rested. I know it is weird because these two teams levitated above the whole league in the regular season. The regular season was a long time ago. Mm-hmm. And a lot has changed as far as, I think, individual guys' confidence, positively for the Knicks and positively for most of the guys on these other teams, but a little negatively. The injuries, the Knicks really finally fully embracing Mike Brown's offense. I don't even know if Mike Brown was trying to enforce on them early in the year, if it was just a slow build towards it, to where right now the Knicks are depending on what the matchup is, depending on the sports book you use, somewhere around 2.5 to 1 underdogs. I think that is insane. I think that the Knicks, it's not that they can win. I think that they deserve, they won't be, they deserve to be the favorites against either of these teams. And I think that we have seen enough from Wemby in this series to know a couple things. One is, he is not yet a surefire A game every game. And it's not even Game 5, it wasn't even an A game on defense. So he hasn't gotten to that level of superstardom yet. We have seen 55% from the field, 50% 4 straight years from the field. Shea can be inefficient for a whole series. And it's not, he has gotten to a level where he's never just like bad. Like we said, he's still 26-10, but he can be held down. And the injuries are piling up on both sides. So the regular season record would say they want to play the Spurs. The injuries would say they want to play the Thunder. My answer is the Knicks are the best team remaining. And I don't know if they will be the best team going into next year. I don't know. I just know right now, at the end of May 2026, the best team in basketball is the New York Knicks. Yeah. And they've looked like
they
all
look
postseason.
like it. There's no question.
Coming up next, the most motivational segment in all of sports, a very special edition of the Bud List.
And it's going to be a question of Brew's, I hate to say it, integrity. Does he put only Spurs on the Bud
I think the show's graduated to the point where he no longer stops the show to chastise you. Live from New York, it's a show that's doing it on the fly. Just making stuff up as we go.
Actually, yes.
The Bud List is so stellar. We've got the whole team on it, and there's just a lot of creativity.
There must be a new. We went through the
Don't look at the
game
banners.
show.
Don't look at the banners.
It was a game or a board game.
Yeah, we used to have a lot of Bud List merch.
Yeah.
But then
expensive though. And then you started to spend all the money on food.
No, that's not what happened.
The budget got you.
Drew, your star was getting a little too bright for old KW.
You had to bring me down tonight. Are you going to introduce another character?
We're looking at it. I don't know who the characters.
We've been
They kind of come organic.
Here's where you flew
Jackson
too
Blade.
close to the sun, Brew. KW doesn't necessarily demand to be the most famous guy on the show.
No, not at all.
But he doesn't like when he's not the funniest guy on the show.
No, you.
And Brew has been getting more belly laughs
Big time.
than anybody.
I'm hilarious.
I know, you are. I was going to tamp down my laughter. It's just the funniest joke you've ever said. Just crickets. Second hour of First Things First. Today, is it now or never for Lamar Jackson? New coach, new OC, he discusses. Meanwhile, is Wemby on dud watch tonight? One of the worst games of his playoff career, if not total career. Last game. Is he going to bounce back? Right now, time for the most motivational segment in all of sports. Also time where we read viewer mail. A little bit of a hiccup because Christina is out on her honeymoon. Congratulations. to
Yeah,
Christina.
congrats.
Recently married. So we didn't have anyone to go get the mail. I went to the post office myself today.
You did.
Didn't even know where it was.
Man of the people.
Talked to the Postmaster General.
He was there.
Yep, Ben
Is
Franklin.
it still LaJoy?
It's still Ben Franklin.
Oh.
Dear Wilds, love the show. Why? Thank you. As children, we love the small toys that Brew has used to make large points. Do you have any more in store? Thanks, Ryan and Brian. Well, thank you, Ryan and Brian. And actually, the small toys that Brew has used, a lot of times bigger is better on TV, but you, of course, have used Death's Door. You brought this out, and we were commonly saying, that's too small, Brew. That's not really reading on TV. But at the same time, like, you know what? Wilds, why don't you open your mind a little bit?
Yeah.
Because I don't know everything about television just because big props, like when I had a door, it was 10 feet tall. Maybe small props do work. So as we prepare for the finals, we kind of leaned into it. Because, you know, tonight we've got, tonight, Game 6, Wemby and SGA, that is going to be delicious. There it is, delicious. There's a Brew also. And then we get to the finals. Maybe we have. It could. Hopefully, it goes for a long series. But maybe it's a sweep. It could be a sweep. It's a tiny.
Where did we get that?
This from Bruce.
Wow.
Bruce House of Props. And finally, of course, everybody
There's
wants
more?
an exciting finals. You want some slam dunks. You want some three-pointers. You also want to see, the French pastry. There you go. I don't know if it plays anymore.
Who made these?
We said, look, we're a television show. We need some made-for-TV props. I said, smaller the better. And I said, really? Usually you like large props. Like, nope, smaller the better. So there you go. It's going to be delicious.
Wow.
That was, you know what? You stepped up.
You
We've
really
been
did.
challenging you. You had mailed it in for a good 2-3 months.
Shout out to Hubs. Hubs is really on to make
work.
all of these
Excellent
miniatures.
work. That pizza does look delicious, though
delicious.
tiny. All right, hey, this guy isn't small.
Oh.
Number 3 on the bud list, Chet Holmgren.
Oh.
All right, I'm not just going, I could have just put all Spurs on here for the motivation, but I got to be objective. I got to be fair. And Chet, I'm going to start with a positive.
Okay.
You played well last game.
Yes.
Right, 16 points, 11 boards, shot nearly 70% from the floor. But one good game does not make one good series. You're 12.7 rebounds a game in the series, way below your season averages. And quite frankly, you haven't played well against Wemby. You struggled. All right, now I get that he's taller than you and he's better than you.
Yeah.
All right, you might just have to concede that. However, you cannot be intimidated by him. People had to play against LeBron James. They had to play against Hakeem Olajuwon. They had to play against Kareem. They knew they were better. They couldn't be intimidated, all right? So you have to go out there with some attitude.
That's true.
Go attack Wemby. Go at him. Even talk a little trash, maybe.
I would like to see that.
Don't show any sign of fear, all right? Because if you do, and you lose this series because of it, other teams around the league, you better believe you're going to be getting some hard elbows. There are going to be guys starting beefs with you because they know they can get in your head. So don't let it happen. And look, finally, I'm not saying Sam Presti would do this, but if he watches the show, Nick Wright threw out something that made a lot of sense. If you guys lose these next 2 games, go home without reaching the finals, and because you didn't step up and play well against your nemesis, Nick said, ship him to Milwaukee for Giannis. And I got to be honest, I like that. I like that. Now, I know you don't want to go to Milwaukee, so go ahead and get it done tonight.
Why doesn't he want?
Because he's in Oklahoma City on the champion. You think he wants to go to Milwaukee and rebuild?
Can I add something to that for Chet? Listen, I know Chet's not the most well-read guy, but I don't know if he speaks any other languages either.
That's a guess. No.
Could he learn a line or 2 of trash talk in French? And at
Oh.
the opening tip, just say something real sideways to Wemby in his native tongue, try to get him off balance. I think
The classic Kobe move.
Kobe
would do it.
Yeah, Kobe did
would
do it, right? Like
Kobe did to Luis Scola
Kobe
in the
knew
Olympics, but then
other
he also was talking
languages,
trash
No, he was
Slovenian to Luka at one point.
Slovenian and Luka from the sideline.
He just learned it as a hobby.
yeah.
Chet,
Chet.
do it, baby.
Yeah.
All right, I actually believe in you.
Oh, wow.
Not as much as I believe in Wemby, but I do believe in you. All right, number 2, another teammate, SGA.
Wow.
It's just an opportunity. It's just an opportunity to put yourself alongside absolute legends. Only 5 guys in history have won back-to-back finals while reaching back-to-back MVPs while reaching the finals in back-to-back years, those same years. It's a legendary list. Absolutely. The names that aren't on that list are phenomenal. No Magic, no Olajuwon, no Duncan, no Kobe.
That's
Shaq.
5 of your top 10 and 5 of my top 12.
Yes.
Right there.
And probably 5 of everybody's top 12.
Yes.
So, Shay, I'm not, I hate to bite off Nick earlier. I'm not saying you're in the top 12. You're not. But, hey, keep accomplishing things, and who knows. So, Go out there and get it done. Look, don't worry about the efficiency. I know Nick, I know Wazzy gonna kill you. Oh, he only shot 38%. Michael Jordan, Nick will love this.
Yeah, I will. 96
Michael
finals?
Jordan, 96 against Seattle, shot 41%.
Yeah, you're right.
You know what? Nobody cares because they won.
Last 3 games,
All right?
once Gary Payton was guarding him, it was even worse.
98 against Utah, he shot 43%.
We don't talk about that enough.
Nobody cares because they won. Win in advance, man. Get the trophy. That's what I'm talking about. So, Shay, this is a great opportunity for you to go ahead and get it done. I believe in you, not quite as much as Wemby.
Michael Jordan down 2-0 to the Knicks, shot 3 for 18. Scottie Pippen bailed him out. Nobody cares because they won. Sorry, go ahead.
Still got 22 points. That's how great.
Drew has it right.
Get to
He
the
just
foul.
knew that off the top of his head.
All right.
All the free throws, like you, Shay. Go ahead.
Number 1, Wemby. Again, a great opportunity. I mean, you could do something that Bill Walton, maybe we got to, he's already greatly rated, but maybe we got to raise him a little higher. Something that no one not named Bill Walton has done, which is lead a team to the finals without a veteran superstar alongside you. Now, Shaq did it in his 3rd year. And you could say, oh, yeah, Penny, but hey, he's got Stephon Castle and those guys. They didn't win it. They got swept, but he did get to the finals. But you have a great opportunity, Wemby. And to a large degree, you're playing with house money. I know you don't feel that inside. You feel a lot of pressure. You probably feel a lot of angst. And I'm not mad about that. But you have to channel that in a positive direction. And look, big man, you're 7'5". I love the fact that you got to handle like a point guard. I love that you can shoot threes and all of that. I love that you have moves. But don't play like you're 6'5" tonight. All right? Use the moves that Hakeem Olajuwon taught you. You did it for 1 game. The first game of the season. You scored 40, and then after that, you kind of went back to playing on the perimeter most of the time. But go inside, roll to the basket, the pick and roll, the lobs, get it at the elbow, drive to the rim, do it inside, and then go outside off of your dominance in the paint or near the basket. So I believe in you. I think you're going to come out like a gangbuster tonight and get it done. And look, if you don't, I don't think it's not a good thing, but you will learn from the pain and it will make you a better player. So again, house money, Wemby. Go out and get it done. I believe in you.
Just an
That's
excellent
the
Bud list.
And it feels good to have the Bud list. I know Coach isn't here, he normally says
Loves
it, but
the Bud
it
list.
feels
Thank
good
you.
to have the Bud list back. And putting 2 of the 3 people on the Bud list as the Thunder, when you pick the Spurs, rooting for the Spurs, it's a bold play. It's a gutsy
I know.
play.
I thought about going with Mitch Johnson, De'Aaron
All right, De'Aaron Fox, exactly. Yeah, the whole crew. That's right.
Well, it's 4:12 almost. A little early edition of one of America's favorite media, whatever this is, sports media ombudsman. Essays? What would you call this? Rants? Commentaries?
Takedowns.
No, it's just commentary.
One of America's favorite media commentaries.
Yeah, it's the sports media
It's the sports media ombudsman.
All right, well, this was inevitable.
Back to wearing a purple suit.
This was inevitable. So, first things first, the sports Emmys is under duress.
Big time.
And that's what I'm going to talk about here. So, here's the deal. I have to kind of set the table for everyone. I think we were all cautiously optimistic going into Tuesday. It's 5 nominees, so even if you're the favorite, you probably have what, a 1 instead of a 1 in 5 chance, a 1 in 4 chance. I think all of us thought we could win, but the good money would be on the field rather than us. And we were in a stacked field with great other nominees, NFL Live, which had won before, most notably SportsCenter, an iconic long-time show, all among others. So I had kept, my expectations in check, even though I had written down some thoughts in case we won, until Tuesday morning. Tuesday morning, I don't know if the audience knows, and by the way, shout out to the people who watched. The first things first folks that were in the chat for the Sports Emmys were unbelievable and incredibly supportive and so kind. But I was a presenter. Well, there's 50 awards, so there's a lot of presenters. Fox asked me to be one of the presenters, so I showed up to rehearsal. And my expectations sure did change when I was at rehearsal. Because they told me, they're like, oh, as it turns out, your award that you guys are up for is award 40, and you're presenting awards 41 to 43. And I was like, okay, and I tried to hide my smile. I'm like, it can only mean one thing. They're like, he was gonna be on stage accepting the award and then can stay and present. And in that moment, then the rehearsals, they're like, hey, before you actually introduce the awards, do you wanna add some comments, some anything, kind of freestyle for a bit? Sure. And I told him, I was like, no, I'll just go straight into it, because in my head, I'm like, I'm gonna have just talked. They're not gonna need to hear more from me. A few minutes before our award or our categories announced, they signal me, they have me come to the back. Bruce sees me get up, Wild sees me. I go to the back, I'm there with our great friend Jenny Taft. They have me stand, I'm looking at the stage, I'm a foot off the stage. They're like, and for Sports Show of the Year Daily, NFL Live, and my knees buckled. And I don't really remember much else except Laura Rutledge talks, I see Mina talking, and then I hear my name called. And the lady's like, go. And I realize a few things have happened. One is there might be tears in my eyes. The other is I'm really off balance. Another, last and most importantly, I have no idea what I'm gonna say here. So I'll show America what I did, and then I have a confession. Okay. Roll the tape.
Before I get to the script, quick little story. So, a little stressed this morning, presenting, up for an award. I may or may not be involved in some of those podcast beefs Roy was talking about earlier. So I got in a bit of an argument with my wife, and I didn't want to apologize. And I was like, you know what? I'll apologize when I accept the award. Well, NFL Live just won the award we were nominated for, so maybe my bad. I got to do it here. This is the best way I can do it. And if y'all look for vintage clothes, she has a great store in Harlem called Vintage. Check it out. Now, out of the way.
That whole thing was a lie.
Yeah.
I made that up.
Was it?
I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to say. I was just trying to be self-deprecating, funny, charming, and you saw me walking out there. I might have been wiping a tear away.
It hit my lie radar.
I think Danielle, I thought she was sitting right in front of us. She turned around to me and my wife and said, oh, he's so sweet, or something like that.
No, the printed shout out was good.
The printed shout out,
I thought it was a lie because you're like, oh, I got into a fight with my wife. And then you're like, my bad. I'm like, man, that's how you, just the 2-word, there was no other, like, hey, sorry I didn't take out the garbage, or like, it's okay, I didn't water the plants or whatever. It's just,
So why'd you pick that?
I just stone panic. I just didn't know what to do. I was out there, I was like, am I just gonna start reading from this? Also, are my eyes glassy right now? Did my voice crack? The whole thing, not great. But thanks to the Sports Emmys for having me. I'll do a better job presenting next year.
I'll tell you who crushed. Laura Rutledge.
Okay.
Laura Rutledge, right before you were up, thankfully, she was like, congratulations to all the other shows. So she was the best.
Yeah.
And you went up there and told some lies.
Brew, can you imagine if we had a host that good?
Don't laugh. You guys would have crushed.
We'd have won.
Hey, I'm dragging you down a little bit, but hey, you got to dance with who you came with. All right, I am putting Alex Caruso on the Bud list. Go back to Western Conference Finals. I remember the days where Alex Caruso caught a dunk, put-back dunk from the three-point line. Like, who's this guy with a headband? Then wins the championship, and Rob Pelinka doesn't want to sign him to a very reasonable deal, so he goes to the Bulls. And now all of a sudden he's on the Thunder. He's already got one championship, about to win another maybe. Spurs game plan is like, you know what? Can't have SGA beat us. Maybe Alex Caruso. Make him beat us. And Alex Caruso said, will do. Here's Alex Caruso, 20-point games in his Thunder career. In the regular season, out of 110 games, he's had 0. In the playoffs, he's had 5 out of 36. So he's already a playoff performer. He's had 2 this series. Had 22 in Game 5. He had 31 in Game 1. He had 17, just 3-point away from having another 20-point game. Then it's a matter of, well, how much better does he get in the playoffs? Is he just a little bit better? Well, the difference between regular season 3-point percentage and playoff 3-point percentage is literally the biggest increase ever. So that's how hot Alex Caruso is. You might want to put a hand in his face or prioritize guarding him. Then finally, the problem is this guy's a menace on defense too. Check this out. We know Wemby is obviously the story of defense this series. Lowest opponent's field goal percentage when this player's on the court. Spurs with Wemby, team shooting 41.6%. Thunder with Caruso, 41.9%. So please, he might win. It would be strange because he didn't start. He might win the Magic Johnson Trophy.
MVP.
Do you guys? I'm glad you brought that up. Do you think if it ended right now, I think SGA should be the MVP.
I just have SGA award fatigue, so I would give it to Caruso.
If it ended right now, I think it probably would be Shea, because he's coming off, even though it was an uninspiring game, it was the 32 points they won. Mm-hmm. And the average is Shea is going to have him crushed no matter what. Shea's averaging 20. But if they close it out tonight and Shea has another...
It's like game one.
Yes, as a game like game one, and Caruso doesn't need 30. But Caruso has another 20-point game.
He probably needs a big game, like 20-something, 25-ish.
But so even then, the averages would still skew heavily Shea. But I think that would be enough for the role player defense bump piece of it.
I almost think that Shea would like that if someone else got it.
A conference finals MVP doesn't have a rich history.
It's just started, right?
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
I think everybody wants finals MVPs.
You know, but you want them all.
You think so? Last year.
But, you know, if you just win, you're happy, whoever got it.
UFL League regular season wraps up Week 10 action this weekend. Friday at 8, Dallas taking on St. Louis. Then Sunday at 6, Louisville taking on Columbus at 6. That is all on Fox. Welcome back to the show. We're talking a little bit of the NFL now. Lamar's at OTAs. He's got a new coach, Jesse Minter, a new OC, bro, 29-year-old Declan Doyle. Here's Lamar and his new squad.
Man, cool dude. Cool coach, man. Always has a smile on his face. I just told him on the field today, I'm like, every time I come in the building, you're always smiling. Like, you don't know what coaches think, he just got a smile on his face, and that's great to have, man. New coach, new OC, different new guys in positions. So everything is just new, basically, besides upstairs, you know. But coaching staff is just new, and I can say it's a breath of fresh air because everything is just new.
A lot of enthusiasm, bro. Now or never for Lamar.
I wouldn't say now or never. I mean, he's 29 years old. Even last year in a down season, without question, he still had 21 touchdowns, 7 picks, a 103 passer rating, basically 104 passer rating. So I think he's getting better generally as a quarterback. And so I think that, I mean, yeah, it's S-Bob, no doubt. Like every year until he wins the Super Bowl, he is S-Bob. There's no question about it. And if they don't at least get there and really win it, it's going to be a disappointment. Because even if he gets there, it's still going to be like, when you going to win it? You're a 2-time MVP. So, or 3-time MVP. Is
no,
two-time
3-time first-team All-Pro.
Right.
Remember, because he split it the year with Josh Allen.
MVP.
Yep.
So, it's S-Bob for sure. But look, I think Mentor, because we don't know yet, but I think he looks like he's going to be a very good coach. He's got all Central the credentials, his resume. I think that defense is going to get back to that Ravens defense under Mentor. They, I think they improved or at least added to the offensive line this year. Like I think the only never question is Derrick Henry. Is this the last year he's King Henry, or was last year? Yeah, I mean, at some point Henry's going to fall off, and when is that going to happen? But outside of that, I just think he's still got time. I get it. Mahomes is still there, Allen, and then you got Drake and other young players coming. But I still think his window is pretty large.
So I think his window's potentially large. So let me back up. Because the one thing you didn't mention that I'm very curious about, is Lamar Jackson still a good runner? Like, is he still a dangerous, devastating runner. Because you're
Well,
right.
that's a different. I'm sure he's probably a good
runner. That's why. Yeah. But is he last
Is
year?
he unquestionably the best runner in the NFL?
Well, that
It might be Josh at this point.
But the last year he wasn't even a good runner he was
wasn't
good
special.
compared to he wasn't special. That's the better way to put it. And was that a combination of little season from hell over Harbaugh and a bunch of different weird lingering injuries, or was it a symptom of getting older, hits piling up, protecting himself more? Because we have talked about Lamar not being as devastating a runner since the AFC Championship game against Kansas City, when we talked about him not taking off when we thought he could.
Right, yeah,
the pass
that's right.
when he caught his own pass in the AFC title game and it looked like he maybe could run for a touchdown, he got caught like that. And I do think that that is a major question mark. And because he has improved as a passer from where he was as a rookie, his rookie, maybe even second year, if the running wasn't there, he wouldn't be a viable, dominant starter. Now, I don't think he has to run to be a good quarterback. But I do think the running element is what opens up his ability to be a great quarterback because of the way he's guarded differently. So that's the first question. The second one I have is this, which is right now, this moment, KW, do a little math with me, or odds with me, I guess. What do you think there is a greater or less than 50% chance that Lamar Jackson wins a Super Bowl in his career?
Greater.
So, greater or less than 75%?
Greater.
Really? Okay, so you think right now he's a huge favorite to win a Super Bowl.
I'm playing with how many more years?
Well,
let's say
we don't know.
8 on the conservative side.
Oh, I don't think that's conservative.
8 on the.
Maybe 37 nowadays. Now, will he be great? You talking about great years?
Yeah, I'm talking about prime Lamar Jackson years.
At least 5.
Okay, well, at least 5.
I
Then
would
you start to play the game where you're like.
And you're saying it's more. So
Look,
my
Josh
maybe
got to
he
get
could-
one.
so
Burrow's gotta
Elway
get
won
one.
them later, and Peyton won his second one out
later.
of his prime.
So
Elway won his two
I'm not going to say it's never, but I think right now I think he's about 40% to win a Super Bowl. Like if you offered me even money.
And what do you think Josh is?
60%. You know, I think that Josh is more likely to win a Super Bowl than Lamar, and I'm basing that almost purely on 2 things. One is Josh seems less injury prone, and Josh, I believe, has played considerably better in the postseason than Lamar. Even though Josh is coming off a 4-turnover playoff game that I'm not trying to brush under the rug. And so if in my head, if he's 40% right now, each year he doesn't win it, that number gets sliced a lot. Because when's his best opportunity to win a Super Bowl for the rest of his career? It feels like it'll be right now. And the second best will be the year after. Because of the Derrick Henry part. Now, the math you do on, but Minter, maybe it's when Minter gets a little more experience and those things. So it's fuzzy in that regard. But so my answer is no, it's not now or never. But it is, to me, more likely than not, and this is where I'm different than you guys, that he doesn't. I think he's a favorite, a slight favorite to get to a Super Bowl at some point, but then you also got to win it. He's only even been to the conference championship game the one time. He hasn't been that close.
I would think if he gets there, because as you know, his record against the NFC is pristine. I would think he could.
I think he'd probably be a favorite if they get there. But still, the other thing, and this is what I wanted to ask you, KW, before we move on. If Lamar has a year next year like last year, where he misses
then you start to
3 or 4 games with injury, that his numbers are fine, but he's not this, dominant Lamar, will you think, it's like a lot of the other great mobile quarterbacks with a far shorter prime than we thought? That's where the pressure is on this year. The pressure brew isn't just, yes, they're SBOB, but we need to see Lamar look like Lamar again for us to feel like he's still Lamar, at least for me.
chalk up last year's lack of running to just all of those injuries that migrated up his leg or
All
from
different
ankle,
types of
toe,
lower
knee,
body.
thigh,
Sure,
quad.
but the question I'm asking is, do we go one step further back? You're saying the lack of running is due to the injuries.
I'm saying
and
he
I'm
gets
saying,
healthy and is okay.
Right, and what I'm saying is, are the injuries due to all the previous running? If
this year is like last year, it's going to raise serious alarm bells. There's no, whether it's injuries or just poor lesser performance, whatever it is. If he has that type of year, I've always thought, certainly early in his career, that he's going to have a shorter prime just because he's a running quarterback and he's going to take hits.
But he's a phenomenal
Well, that's the thing.
quarterback.
I think some of his running, like not running as much, is a mentality.
I do too.
Because he's always wanted to, like, I'm not just a running quarterback.
Yes.
I want to prove I'm a passer. And I think he has to just take what he's blessed with. He's a great passer, but also use your legs too while you have them, because there will come a point in his career where he can't run like that.
We talked about Russ's decline from being a mobile quarterback to just not being able to run.
Yeah.
On the other side of the ball, when Cam Newton was on the Patriots, it's his arm that went.
Yeah.
But he could still run just because he was an
Cam's
all-time runner. So half of his
twice as big.
ability.
But Cam was the biggest guy in the league. I mean,
But he still moved. But he still moved, and he took far more punishment than Lamar.
No,
has.
but I mean, Cam. Anybody that's ever been in a room with Cam Newton to this
he's
day, I
twice
mean,
as big as
he is a freak of nature, size-wise.
But taking all those hits did hurt. I mean, that's why his prime was so
right. But to KW's point, those hits manifested in his ability to throw more than his ability to
so
run.
I think even if Lamar cuts his running ability by half, it's not going to be like, man, Russ is not the guy he used to be, because Russ was never.
No,
as
I think Lamar's a
explosive
way
as
better
Lamar.
passer than either of those guys.
Just quickly, Brew. Ravens' first 7 games are against teams that are finished below 500. Last year, it's
they
always a
should
bit.
start great, man.
Yeah, and they need to get
We
out.
haven't talked about this element of it for them at all.
You should come out of the gates flying.
That's
Third
a
most
5-1
favorable
start,
schedule according
you
to
would think,
NFL.com.
right? Just
At
that left
least.
column.
If it's less than 5-1,
You're
you would take
disappointed.
4-2, but yeah, you're disappointed if
Take
it's not
4-2. If 4-2 is disappointing.
That's what he's saying.
No, that's what I'm saying.
okay,
I would
okay.
take
Yeah,
it, but
he's
it's
saying-
got to be at least
sorry.
5-1.
Yeah, and that I think is really good for just like I think the Chiefs' opening schedule is good because of Mahomes coming off the injury. I think the Ravens' opening schedule being easy is good because of the new head coach.
Yep.
Like, you don't always want your easy games to be early, but I think in those
And coming
circumstances
off
you do.
last year's just
But I think the general public right now thinks there's 9 Super Bowls to go around in the next 5 years. And there's not. There's 5 in the next 5 years.
Yep.
And so, like, the ability for we were mentioning all those guys. Nobody even said Joe Burrow's name. He's been to one. We didn't mention Patrick Mahomes, who I think's not done playing for Super Bowls. That doesn't even get to anyone in the NFC. The young guys, Caleb and Jaden,
And not to mention the guys that aren't awesome. Like Darnold just won one.
Yes.
I mean, there's going to be
the
guys.
6 teams
yeah,
there are going to be a lot of guys left without a chair. And I'm not saying Lamar is not going to win a Super Bowl. What I'm saying is I think he's already a slight underdog to win one. And the longer you go, the bigger underdog you become.
I wonder if free agency's changed it too, because you used to be a great quarterback, and free agency just at one point didn't exist until the early 90s. But even when it existed, the movement wasn't quite what it is now. So you could build around that Elway and get what you needed and maybe wins it later. Versus now, teams are changing all the time.
Well, that's the other thing. What Lamar, to his credit, has never had, and I know people think I'm not high enough on Zay Flowers, but I know I'm right on this. He's never had an elite pass catcher, ever. No. He's never there's a difference between good and elite. Yeah, no. Mark Andrews was a good tight end for a long time. Isaiah Likely,
he had a really good receiver. I think his tight ends were really good.
I think yes, but I don't think. Yeah. But and Derrick Henry's an amazing, all-time great player. But as far as an elite pass catcher,
Jamar Chase.
He has never had Jamar Chase, prime Stephon Diggs, Tyreek Hill, Kelsey.
Yeah,
he's never had the elite pass catcher. So I do wonder if they come up short, if that is something they prioritize.
Because we don't talk. We said, Josh, get Josh somebody.
Yeah.
Mahomes, get
because they got
somebody
him Derrick
now.
Henry, and so we felt like that was the play.
Coming up next is Wemby on dud watch
Wow.
for a 20.6 rebound game. We discuss next on
Tall order, anti-spot bonus. Someone owes me money.
Wemby is on the brink of going home after a dud in Game 5. Only made 4 field goals, had 6 rebounds. I introduced a new segment earlier this week called Caveman Stats, where I do away with all the fancy calculator numbers and I just give you the straight dope. I was going to wear a little leather
We don't need
leotard.
to care about your outfits. You're not Parkins. What's the caveman stat?
Pretty basic. If Wemby scores more than 26 points, well, you can't beat the Spurs. If he scores fewer than 26 points, the Spurs are 3-6. Granted, includes those losses when he left early, but guess what? He didn't score 26 of those games. That's the problem. Brew, would you be shocked if Wemby had another dud?
I expect him to come out and have a big game, a great game. I wouldn't be surprised, though, if it's just a solid game. If it's 26, 25, 24.
26 they would win.
And 11 or 12, and they lose. You know, like it's a solid game, and they lose.
Wow, he doesn't believe in caveman
Use that,
stats.
no.
Yeah, I disregard the caveman stuff. But I would be shocked if it's another game like Game 5. Where I'd be shocked if he has single-digit rebounds, unless it's a 41-9 or 41-8 or something. But if he does have another dud, I would just be like, he's done. He was spent.
Ran out of gas.
Ran out of gas, and that's what he's gonna have to learn. Remember, Anthony Edwards, I don't know if it was last year or 2 years ago when he was like, I'm exhausted.
It was 2 years ago.
Like, yeah, he was exhausted. Obviously, he's young, but he was exhausted. Like I said earlier, Jordan talked about those Detroit series taking it out of him. He just wasn't strong enough yet. And so that's what I would chalk it up to. But I don't know why. I just feel like, I don't know how you do it in one day, but I feel like he's going to have a burst of energy that he didn't have in Game 5.
Well, he did for Game 4, by the way. Game 3, he looked a little worn down.
Is that when he had 20? Game 3 had 26 and
I don't remember
six or
stat
8
line,
or
but
something like that.
game 4, he was a monster.
Yeah, one game he had 21 and 4.
And so here's what I expect. I am very confident Wemby is going to have a monster first quarter.
Good.
My question is, does it peter out after that? Again, very different.
If it does, they'll lose. Even
Yes,
if they're
correct.
big.
And I, by the way, I think they're going to win tonight. I think that the real exhaustion is going to show up for Wemby in Game 7. I think he's going to, rally as best as he can tonight, but then it's quick turnaround I know it's very short travel, but with travel, and that's it. And Josh, you fact check me in my ear if you could, because I know these are different players, different stages of their career. But I think it was the year of the Ray Allen shot, Game 7 of those finals. I feel like Tim Duncan had 30 in the first half of Game 7, maybe 25 in the first half, and then finished with like 4 in the second half. That he came out, absolutely, came out huge. It was either Game 6 or Game 7 of that series, I know what happened, that he had this monster push early and then, fell at the end. And in fact, in the Game 7, if you remember, Duncan missed that little baby hook right before LeBron hit the shot. I think Wemby is going to go full bore in the first quarter, and it will be, I think the Spurs will be in control of this game. Not blowing them out, but you know what I mean, up 6-8. What I'm curious about is, and this is to go back to what I said at the beginning of the show about his minutes, they sub him out in the first quarter. Like, you know what I mean? They going to, like, how many first half minutes do you think Wemby plays? Let's assume it's close. How many first half minutes?
I mean, I play him the full.
18, 19.
So it was Game 6. So it was the Ray Allen game was the Duncan game. He had 25 in the first half, and then kind of slowed down.
You're playing him 19 minutes.
Okay, but there's my point.
I'm playing 20 minutes. Well,
Okay,
yeah, 19's right.
Right,
and
but
then
then-
maybe go the full second half.
Yeah, but then so that then speaks to it, and you guys, if you play 19 in the first half, you can't play 44.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They are not, and I certainly don't think, if you want to play him 44 minutes or 43 minutes or whatever, I don't think you can plan for him to go the entire second half. I think it has to be, whatever his break is going to be, it's going to be part and part. Like 2 minutes in the first half, 2 minutes in the second half, whatever it is. But I'm curious how they approach it. I don't think they're going to do that. I do not think the Spurs are going to. I bet you he plays in the first half tonight 18 minutes. And then we see what he plays in the second half.
Yeah, I think they're going to, especially if they're, as you said, in a bit of control, they're going to try to get him his breaks. There's no doubt. And I think they'll try to get him his breaks in the first half because they're going to be like, if we need him to keep going in the second half, we'd rather him play there. So,
Live from New York, first things first, overtime today. Does Wemby need to have a monster game tonight? Some cool stats. Got to score 26 or they lose, Danny. Did you see my cool stats?
Yeah, I did.
You do have some cool
You really simplified it. There's no briefcase, no gloves.
Nothing, dude.
Yeah.
I am
Stats works just
going to
fine.
wear a leather leotard and have long hair.
Leotard.
Yeah, like a Andre the Giant thing. What do
Just
they call
call
those?
it wrestling outfit, not leotard.
No, like a caveman.
I understand. I know what you mean.
But what do you call a caveman
Andre
outfit?
the Giant wrestling outfit. Don't ever say on the air, I'm going to wear a leather leotard.
I don't know what the wrestling outfit is called.
a singlet.
I think it would be a good
Yeah.
look
a
on you.
singlet?
Just call
I don't know that I
it's a
want to hear you
unitard.
say singlet either.
Yeah, buddy.
I want to wear,
What are
and
you
it's got
doing?
triangles on the bottom.
That's fine.
How,
but
about,
not a-
how about shorts and a t-shirt? How
No,
about
I want to look like a caveman.
That's what I say.
And I
I'm
have
going to dress
I
like
have
a
a little thing
caveman.
of fire here.
Don't
I'm like,
say
here's
you're
some-
going to wear a leather leotard,
You're
bro.
on it.
going to.
It's
though.
5 o'clock.
Leotard.
It's prime time. This isn't helping us
I have
win
like a
any.
Really
large-
has gotten risque.
I told
Oh my
you.
goodness. I don't think that's going to get us the image.
No, not in this category.
I think it works.
AVN.
QB controversy in Minnesota. Got to hear what J.J. McCarthy had to
The
say.
controversial thing is
I
that
love
Bruce like no problem.
Hey, let's compete.
I don't know if you heard.
I'm here to be the
I felt like
quarterback
you
on the freshman
zoned
team.
out.
That's what it's
When
like.
we played that
I don't
video,
know. We
I
here to
felt like you
compete.
zoned out because that was a softball down the middle. And you're like, I got no issue with it. I was shocked.
I'm here to win
and
the
we have
job.
frenemies.
I'm not here to make friends.
Yeah,
And
happy
frenemies.
Frenemies
Yeah.
Thursday.
We'll do it. It'll be
Yeah,
good.
it's going to be great.
Frenemies.
One
Kevin
topic, frenemies.
Yeah.
Oh,
We're just doing
what's
the finals.
the one topic?
Of Danny's consistent dismissal of the Knicks, despite the fact that they literally just finished the greatest month of basketball in the history of the sport.
And him underrating the
And swept his team.
That's right. Oh, yeah. And Danny's going to, hey, sneak preview 25 minutes from now. Danny's going to explain how easy the Knicks' path was. That included the Big Four in Cleveland.
You just have to divorce yourself from the fact that I was wrong.
Just annihilating. He's going to be like, their path was
You thought they were
I like that
phenomenal.
Danny does that. He introduced that. I don't know if it was a radio thing.
What?
I'd had
Divorce
there.
my own opinion
He just
from
starts
my
off like,
opinion.
first of all, divorce the fact that I said the Patriots won the Super Bowl, would win the Super Bowl. And then he just attacked. I'm like, no, I'm not. We didn't agree on that. Just divorce that. I see that ground. I'm like, what are you talking about? That's not how it works. It's like a shortcut. All right, Game 6 tonight. Danny's inevitable Thunder versus
That's right.
Bruce Spurs. Somebody's got to win. Wemby had a quiet 20 in Game 5. Didn't want to meet the media afterwards.
He is.
What's on the line for Wemby tonight, Danny?
Well, it will be fascinating to see if physically he is up to the task.
My goodness gracious.
Wow.
In Game 1,
I just can't do this anymore.
Okay, after I want to hear the Tiger.
It's the biggest game of his
Tiger's
life.
about to
It's
go
the
out.
biggest game of his life. Can we get some Gatorade for the guy? Enough. Oh, my goodness. In November, he played 22 minutes. It's the biggest game of his life. He said he was climbing a mountain in China with monks. Can we please get the guy some Powerade and play 40 minutes? It's enough. I can't do it anymore.
what
Sorry,
did you make
Danny.
of what happened in Game 5, though? Guys barely
I don't know.
Clearly
He's not running
exhausted
down
in
the
Game
court.
I know. We need more Gatorade. We need more electrolytes.
Well, so, yeah, that was amazing.
Sorry.
I do take, no, it's fine. Don't apologize for greatness. I would say that I want to see if he is up to the task physically for tonight. And then the big picture stuff, everyone, including us, including me, and I have no problem with it, has talked about the inevitability of Victor Wembanyama. But if he loses to the Thunder, who he beat 4 of 5 in the regular season, and then they turn around and win 4 of 6 against him in the playoffs, and they will be, and again, this is a huge if that you guys are not seeding yet, but it's possible that he will then be going into next year with a team in his conference that is the back-to-back champions who just beat him in the only games
and
that
certainly
matter.
will be the back-to-back conference champions.
Right. Objectively. So we will just have to pause the inevitability of Wemby and say he has to get through the Thunder. He will have to get through the Thunder.
I think that's right, Brew. The inevitability of him winning championships, not the inevitability of him being the best player in the league.
Yes.
I think win or lose this series, I think the Spurs are going to enter next season certainly as the Western Conference favorite. And even if the Thunder win, because Wemby isn't close to a finished product. The Thunder are a finished product. Now, I'm not saying they won't improve here and there. Obviously, Sam Presti is great. They will add some pieces. But we were talking during the break. They might lose Isaiah. They're probably going to lose Hartenstein.
They're probably losing Hartenstein, yeah.
He has been critical to this series. So are you going to replace him with somebody equally as good as Hartenstein? So I'm just saying Wemby might be I don't know. 75, 80% of what he's going to be, if maybe lower.
No, but there is.
And so and not to mention Castle, Dylan Harper, all of them are going to get better. So this is not like, it's not like Wemby's 27 and can't get through, and now he's got the Thunder to go.
But he will not.
They're going to get better.
No,
of course. But this is his first time in the playoffs.
Where I agree with Danny is, there could be an element of this is Jordan's first time against the Pistons. And you know what I mean?
So they're going to three-peat?
No, I'm not even. I mean,
that's what we're saying. No. Only three-peat since Bill Russell are Jordan twice and Kobe and Shaq.
Hold on, real quick. They don't have to win any championships to block Wemby from winning them. They just have to win the conference. I think that there is, because the Pistons didn't three-peat, right? They went to 3 straight finals, though. They blocked the East. I think that there is a scenario where Wemby is in his late 80s Jordan part of his career, and the Thunder are playing the role of the Detroit Pistons. I think it's possible. Again,
I put any stock on the regular season dominance of the Spurs over the Thunder for this reason. The playoffs are different.
I mean, it's 3-2. And I think, is it 9 points that separates the two teams?
But it certainly hasn't been.
It hasn't been the regular season, but I mean, this is a war of a series. It's not like the Thunder's dominating them.
No, but if the Thunder win tonight, it will feel like the Thunder
dominated? It's a 6-game series that was tied at 2-2.
Yeah, I guess another way to look at it is the Thunder won 4 out of 5 to close them out, including a game,
a coin flip game.
One of the losses was a double overtime game in the beginning. One of the Thunder kind of not ran away with it, but beat them wire to wire in Game 5. Game 3, spotted them 15 and then won by 15. I think it could look like that again. It's not what I think. Spurs are winning tonight and the Thunder are winning on Sunday anyway, or Saturday, pardon me. But what I do think, there's a lot on the line for Wemby that we have not addressed in either of, in the regulation or in this show. And one piece of it is, one of the reasons the elbow didn't stick to him was because he came out the next game, was awesome, and they won. Mm-hmm. And I also thought it was framed ridiculous too strong. I thought it was framed very generously to him.
And then there was no fine.
Right, there was no fine and that whole thing.
That's fair.
I don't think any bit of Game 5 was a good look for him. I thought he played poorly. I thought he tried to, and I wouldn't normally mind this, I thought he tried to kind of big boy and bully Chet with that little bump, and then Chet outplayed him from that moment forward. I think that I do believe, with, again, no intel whatsoever, just what my gut feeling is, that he did call the code red to the Plumlee and Biyombo, and then he skipped out on the media and didn't answer for any of it. if all of that then leads up to a bad game and a loss tonight, for the first time, it's not universal approval, fetting of Wemby. That's all. And again, I do think he's the best player in the league. I think that the fact that he is 95% of the games he plays in a dominant defensive player and 70% of the games he plays in a dominant offensive player makes him best player in the league. But I do think that the Wemby PR takes a bit of a hit if after what happened in Game 5, if they lose and he doesn't seem up to the moment, which is what you're getting at, which is if he's not able to play a ton of minutes, if he does look out of gas, I think it just does add a little more. It takes a little bit of the shine off this playoff run. I think that's fair. I don't know if you...
quickly, Brew, and this is probably too big of a question for 60 seconds that we have to move on, but do you think Giannis is watching this game with a curious eye towards the Spurs?
Towards the Spurs,
yeah, it's
like
maybe I want to go there.
I mean, he might. If I'm the Spurs, I'm not interested in Giannis.
Okay.
I mean,
I'm very
are you any of you? Would you be?
I don't think the Spurs are going to accelerate their timeline like that. Yeah, I don't either.
No way.
The reason I disagree is this. I think that we have gotten maybe a little fat and happy with Wemby's durability recently. And I am still in like the Yao Ming, we've never seen a guy this big, and maybe our window is not like Stephon Castle's window. Like, oh, well,
that part I totally agree.
I think it's like, you know what?
We're
right there.
Win now.
It's win now for us. I don't know.
Certainly
he had blood clots a few years ago. We're always worried about Cavs. I don't know. I don't want to be Mr.
bet they feel
pessimistic,
like I feel, Stephon Castle's going to get way better. Dylan Harper's going to get way better. De'Aaron Fox is still a very good player. Like, I just think they got three guys that have star to superstar potential, but that are going to get better.
But Brew, 20 seconds, Ram. If they could keep Harper and Castle
and get Giannis,
if they traded Fox, a role player, and their bounty of picks, that's something you would at least discuss.
I would discuss it within our room, our war room or whatever. Yeah, I would discuss it. But I just think
they took on the character.
I think they got the great young nucleus.
I agree. I just wonder if you could not move on from the nucleus and still add a talent like that. That's all.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sam Presti's like, okay, I'll take him then. All right, SGA had 32 in Game 5, Danny. 16 from the field, 16 from the line. He has said that the flopping narrative hasn't bothered him. Copyright infringement? That's another story, however.
Right, yeah.
Headline. SGA sends legal threat over unethical hoops board game, mocking notorious flops. It's a viral marketing stunt from Fantasy League, Underdog, with SGA subbed in for the operation guy, where you can't draw a foul, you get, zapped.
Yeah.
And Dylan Brooks is a part of the marketing
Of course
this.
he is. Of course he is.
So the narrative, I think, is broken contain here. Has flopping changed how you view SGA?
Before you answer that question, can I say one thing real quick?
Of course
I
you can.
defend SGA on filing the cease and desist.
Oh, yeah.
I know people are like, he should ignore it. It gives it more. You can't, use my name, image, and likeness, and you're mocking me, and I didn't give you authorization to do it.
And it's not like Shea himself sent the letter. He has a team.
Unfortunately, it also plays into their.
Correct. I understand,
it works for them.
But on this, because Thunder fans can hate me all they want, that's fine. On this specific thing, I defend SGA. I think his lawyer's doing the right thing. Go ahead, Marco.
So I don't think it will be any surprise to anyone here that the allegations of flopping around Shea, and yes, the data that shows that he falls more than his contemporaries has not changed my view of his greatness. And like I said yesterday, I think this is totally overblown, and I do not understand why this is, other than the fact that they are winning and he is the MVP, and with that comes a spotlight, this is treated differently than Jalen Brunson throwing his head back when he drives to the rim.
Because he does it more, as you said.
Or Luka putting his hands up every single time down the court.
He got crushed for that.
Oh, okay.
And that's also just complaining. That's not falling.
I'm just saying these things that offend our basketball
But
sensibilities.
Luka's gotten annihilated for
Right.
it. And the answer to your Brunson question, you answered with your initial point, which is because Shea does it dramatically more.
Okay, so then I would ask you guys this. Yesterday I brought up the data and said, why don't they shoot the free throws more? And we don't have a real answer for that. I'm going to show you guys a little bit more data, and then I actually want a theory behind it. Like, let's just look at, and maybe you don't like this data, but I pulled 3 things. I tried to be as fair as possible with as large of a sample size as possible. Last 3 postseasons, these are the players Brunson, SGA, and Luka. Number of drives per game, fouls drawn. Pretty identical across the board, except Shea drives more than the other players. I think we would expect if SGA does it more, he would get way more fouls drawn on him. But it's the Thunder. They're coached to do it. Let's look at fouls drawn by the Thunder and free throws attempted by the Thunder last 2 seasons. They rank 10th and 17th in the NBA this year, 16th and 19th last year, including the playoffs. Well, it's different in the playoffs when everybody's focusing on it. Let's just show the playoff numbers.
Yeah, they're not high.
But based on what you all are saying, shouldn't they be first across the board?
Danny,
So then, honestly, explain it to me. What am I missing there?
My issue with SG, God bless him, he can get to the foul line. Like Jordan, all these guys got to the foul line a lot. That's fine. My issue is when there's this much contact and you're falling. He is diminishing himself. He is a great player that doesn't need the histrionics. I don't even mind, selling a call. But when I am touched and I go down in a hump, like that's just weak, man. It really is. And I like SGA, and I wasn't with Nick criticizing him a lot early in the season. But it's just weak. Play basketball. Like, he is so good. It doesn't diminish how great I think he is. Like I said, I think he's selling himself short, and he is breaking the rules. Like I said it earlier. This is the definition of flopping. Exaggerating the effect of contact with an opposing player to either fool the referees or fool the fans into thinking the referees missed the call. The exact example they use, a player falling to the floor following minimal contact. We see that every 3rd or 4th possession.
I think that specific play.
That specific
stuff like that. That's
Danny,
it.
Here's my, because you are correct that I don't have a great statistical rebuttal for why this video has not, and the reason we show that one is because that was called a foul, has not led to exponentially more free throws the way I think it did for James Harden in his heyday.
Yeah.
So I think that part is a good way to win a court case on this. It is the problem is.
I mean, look, Danny.
The problem is.
What is that?
You could give me 30 slides of those stats, and I could give America this 30-second highlight reel and say, who do you believe? And if you think that if you and Troy and whomever said, you know what, let's make this exact same highlight reel for Luka, I'd say go do it. Go find it.
Nick, I agree. He falls more than other players. Right. Some of that.
This one's bad too.
And this isn't him.
What?
I'm sure some of it is selling calls. I absolutely think some of it is because he has among the highest drive to the basket rate in the NBA, and he is
I don't have a problem with
lanky, shifty, skinnier guy that he is more likely.
It's falling on jump shots. It's falling on
No.
jump shots that people have the biggest problem with.
But
and it's hold on, you asked, and so I'm going to try to answer here though. But people say, well, they don't like us because we win. Somebody wins every year. There's never been a team and a lot of them are hated because they win. That is true.
And a lot are beloved.
And a lot are beloved, a lot are hated. Some people don't really have an opinion of. And I think that's the category the Thunder were going to fall into. I think the Thunder were going to be like Duncan Spurs. Great, they're great. Do they have a bunch of fans? Not outside of their area. Do people respect them? Yes. But people weren't vitriolic in either direction. They didn't inspire a lot of emotion. The reason this has become a hot button topic is not because we have to find something to complain about, because some champions we don't complain about. It is because it is so gratuitous in the way it is done. And I am stunned that you think it's mass psychosis.
I think that if he is falling so much, he falls more than other guys. Wouldn't that, given that I have now shown by data he's not actually getting more foul calls, they're not shooting more free throws, wouldn't that be an advantage for the other team?
What?
Because one of the players is on the floor.
You should be able to give it.
You can just outrun him and play 5-on-4.
So I don't.
It should be. You would think, but.
Will they just keep winning?
Nobody's questioning their greatness or his greatness. It's just ridiculous, some of the stuff.
And I don't. It is a logical answer to the question none of us have been able to answer, which is, why is it that a player that we think is great, we all think is great, but even his biggest proponent on the show doesn't think is Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant, is eye to eye with them on any of the objective stats? He's the 55%, the 32 points per game, all these stats that you almost have to apologize for showing, because it's like, hey, it's what the data shows, but I don't actually think he's as good as the guy, but here's what the data shows. So if he's not as good as that guy, nobody thinks he's as good as that guy. Why is he able to do it? And my hypothesis is, and which is why the free throws, it doesn't necessarily show up in this gratuitous amount of free throws, is because of the flopping and its effectiveness in tricking the refs. He sets the tone early with his defender on what the guy feels comfortable, how he feels comfortable guarding him. Does that early, and then the rest of the game, he gets almost a perimeter of protection other guys don't, because the defender's like, gosh darn it, if I get in, I almost have to put my hands behind my back. If I get anywhere close to him, he's going to fall down and go to the line. And that's why a guy who is a 92 out of 100 on all-time greatness can shoot 55% from the floor, which no guard has done. Like, what's the other? So here's the question
I don't think when I'm watching the games that Stephon Castle is not guarding him through some sort of force field of protectiveness in the fourth quarter. I think it's possible that he is an all-time great on more of like the Dwayne Wade level, not the Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant level, who happens to play on one of the smartest teams with some of the best defense and some of the best screeners, with some of the best coaches who get him to spots on the floor so that he can hit a shot.
So first of all, go ahead.
I think we're arguing different things. Like, I don't think we're not saying he's not the Dwayne Wade level
yes,
and a great player. All the things you just said, we agree with. I'm simply like, dude, when you get grazed, why are you falling on the floor 4 times a game like that? And other times you get a little knock and you're falling off. Like, that's all I'm saying that bothers me. It's just weak.
And it is, to me, the difference between a guy at Dwayne Wade level putting up Dwayne Wade numbers or a guy at Dwayne Wade level putting up Michael Jordan numbers. It is, to me, the grifting and the flopping that gives him the extra few percentage points in efficiency, that gives him the extra couple points per game. That is the difference between an all-time great and the greatest of all time at the position. And you're right, Stephon Castle is actually guarding him and in him and not falling prey to it. And look at that, he's shooting 38% this series. That's amazing. It's amazing because I agree with you. He is not being guarded extra protectively. And he's having the worst playoff series he's had since they've been on this run. It's what I think most people see in the game see.
I'll be honest with you, good stats though. I didn't have a theory for it.
Thank you. They were cool.
Do the Knicks deserve to be finals favorites?
This is a little warm-up for Frenemies. Competitive sports debate. Welcome back to the OT. Happy Frenemies Thursday.
We just got to the place where Jared McCain dribbling in front of a guy and then stopping and falling down was called maybe a health thing.
We talked about
like
that with SGA.
I didn't say SGA. I said the team. You're like, it might be a
SGA.
health thing. Okay. But the
I'm
other
sorry.
guys
There's
just want to flop.
A lot of studying going on if you want to play a lot of games fall. Disbursement among your joints. Okay. Jeez, can't say anything to a guy off the air anymore. So I haven't believed in the Knicks all year. You have gotten every playoff prediction wrong, and now we're a Johnny-come-lately to the Knicks and trying to claim them as your own. Vegas, however, still not quite a believer now that the Thunder have taken a lead in the series. Thunder the favorites to win the whole thing, followed by the Knicks, followed by the Spurs. Nick, do the Knicks deserve to be title favorites?
I know they won't be, but I can't stop betting on it as underdogs.
I'm sorry to all Knicks fans.
Because, you know what, can we please clarify the record here? I picked one champion. I picked the Boston Celtics. They lost. After that, I never picked another champion until I picked the Knicks. I never did.
But you
just
picked
for
the
record.
Nuggets to come out of the West.
I picked Celtics over Nuggets in the finals. I was wrong on both accounts.
In the first round.
And I have not yet picked another champion until here is why that actually makes me the best person to analyze this. Because I was freed of any prediction or rooting obligation early. The Lakers never had a shot, and my actual picks were dead immediately, which allowed me to fairly say, hey, you know which team should be the favorite? The team that just ripped off the most dominant month of basketball in the history of the sport and is going to be the most well-rested.
Yep.
And is the healthiest. I would love to know the argument for why the Knicks shouldn't be the favorites that doesn't involve stuff that happened in February or December. I would love to know it.
Well, I mean, quality of opponent?
Sure. You go ahead.
What
quality of opponent where? When?
Through the playoffs.
Hold on. So I'm very interested in that.
Absolutely.
You think the Knicks path has been markedly easier than the Thunder path? Because I know you don't like. I know how highly you think of the Cavs. I know how lowly you think of the Thunder's first two opponents.
No, right, sure. But Nick, if you do.
Yeah.
I was wrong. You just said divorce yourself of the opinions of the Nuggets and the Celtics off the top. I was wrong about the Cavs. Just in terms of the quality of the defense that they are going to play. Like, I think that the Thunder's defense is going to be a huge step up from what the Knicks have just gone through, right? These are the defensive ranks of the teams that the Knicks will have played in terms of how they ranked in the regular season. A couple of all middle-of-the-pack defensive teams, and now they're about to play the second best defensive team.
And what are the ranks? The Thunder's teams that they've played.
Suns were 6th, Lakers were 11th, Spurs were 8th.
Okay. So that's the Suns were the 6th best defense
in terms of opponent's point per game. In terms of opponent point per game, yes. And so I think that the way they ran through this, net rating, the Knicks were the 5th best team. The Thunder were number 1. The Knicks have been unbelievable this run. They are healthy. They are more well-rested. But I think, like we thought that the NFC Championship between the Rams and the Seahawks was the real Super Bowl, I have watched all of these playoffs just like you have, and the level of play between Spurs and Thunder
has not been that good since Game 1. That's everybody's tied to Game 1.
Game 1 and 2.
And then
some of the games have been lopsided, but I do think the level of play those teams are displaying is at a higher level. I do.
How can you possibly say that the level of play from either of these teams is at a higher level than the Knicks have displayed? The Knicks have all they have done.
They've blown people out, man.
So how could the Knicks? What could the Knicks have done to prove to you they're awesome?
If they beat the Thunder or the Spurs,
what could they have done?
They were. I was wrong again. They're the best team in the Eastern Conference. They have blitzed the teams they have had to play in the Eastern Conference. They are a 3 seed that made it to the finals without having to beat the 1 seed or the 2 seed. That is a rare thing that we have not seen before. Why is that not relevant that they had to go through the Hawks?
Because the last 3 finals a team got there without having to beat a 1 or a 2 seed. That's first of all.
The Thunder
Second
were
of all,
1 seed.
No, I didn't say they won the championship. I think it was actually last year. It was the Pacers that did it. I think it is absolutely outrageous to all year long say the seeds in the East don't matter. The Pistons
Right,
are a
sure.
try-hard regular season team. 60 wins, throw it out the window, and beating the Pistons doesn't validate that you're a great team. And then the team that all year long you said was the actual only, the team that was the best team in the East gets absolutely clocked in 4 games. And you're like, actually, that's evidence that team sucked. As opposed
Well, certainly
to,
evidence I was wrong about Cleveland.
no, maybe it's evidence that you are still wrong about the Knicks.
It's possible.
The idea that playing the Suns versus the Hawks, one is far harder. Why? By what evidence? And then playing the Lakers without Luka and with a hampered AR is far harder than playing the Sixers when they got Embiid back. It's why? By what metric? And then, yes, I believe the Spurs are better than the Cleveland Cavaliers. But the Thunder are in a Game 6 against the Spurs, and the Knicks blew out the Cavs in every single game.
But you also think that I have consistently overrated the Thunder even in the midst of the championship last year. Like, they are the champs. They won it.
Yeah.
They have the back-to-back MVP. So I obviously have been wrong about the Knicks, and if they beat the Thunder or the Spurs, I will probably have been more wrong about the Knicks than I've ever been wrong about a team, certainly since we've been doing this TV show together and we've been talking sports a lot longer than that. If the Thunder have the back-to-back MVP and are the back-to-back champs and end up beating the best player in the world in Wemby, and then they go through and beat the team that is put together the hottest month in the history of basketball, which is what the numbers say, then are they an all-time great team, the Thunder?
Yeah, I mean, if you win back-to-back, you're one of the 10 best teams ever? Is that what you want me to say?
No, I'm asking because I think
if you win back-to-back, you're on a short list.
But you seem to be underrating the task that is in front of the Knicks in terms of the quality of the team that they are about to go up against.
They're not playing, I said don't bring up stuff from February. You're bringing up stuff from last season. I don't care that the Thunder are the defending champs. I don't care that
How
the
is
Thunder...
that not relevant? We talk about experience all the time.
Because I actually think that is hurting them right now. Because I think they are wearing down. I think the consecutive 100-game seasons you are seeing it in Shea's efficiency. You are seeing it in the injuries. You are seeing it in the fact that they are going to... What?
Well, no, the actual threshold that they are at, it's not just 2 teams that have made a deep run. It's been 2 teams that have been dominant. And you could say I'm bringing up stuff from last year, but yes, I think we are in chapter 2 of an eventual Thunder dynasty, 3 titles in a row or 3 in 5 years, whatever. Put up the company of the teams that the Thunder are in the midst of, man. That's it. Most wins in a 2-year span in 50 years. That is a list littered with multiple champions. That is why I give them the benefit of that. And the idea that the Knicks should be favored over a team with that resume.
They're not even there. The Thunder aren't. The Thunder are right now, as far as the favorites go.
They are the favorites.
No, I understand. But the Thunder, we're just dismissing the idea the Spurs can even be there, even though the Spurs are favored to win tonight. So, like,
we both agree that you picked the Thunder in 7.
Yes,
I think the Thunder are going to win tonight, and they are the favorites.
I just think that the Thunder have not been, in this run, a dominant postseason team. They have not, to me, looked like a dominant team in this
swept
series.
The first 2 rounds.
I just said this run, this 2-year run, where they needed 7 games against Denver, they needed 7 games against the Pacers, and a torn Tyrese Halliburton Achilles, and we'll see if they need 7 games against the Spurs. We'll find out tonight. But it is less about not respecting the Thunder and more about the abject disrespect of the Knicks, which is why one of your idols hates you. Ben Stiller.
He doesn't hate me.
Oh, he obviously does. Ben Stiller wrote to Danny yesterday. Danny, I almost responded to you with respect. Your deeply flawed, non-believer take in which you said you wouldn't even believe in the Knicks if they actually won the championship.
Never said it.
I think that's what you said or close to it. So no bad blood. Thanks for the Meet the Parents love and anything you represent what many fans feel. They can't accept the reality of what's in front of them in their eyes of this brilliant record-breaking team. People want to dunk on the Knicks, always have in my lifetime, which will make this chip all the sweeter. Much love, Orange and Blue Skies from Fokker. which is a Meet the Parents reference.
It is incredible. And listen, I have been very wrong about the Knicks. And if I am ultimately wrong about the Knicks, I offered to let the producers dress up like the team from Globo Gym and dodgeball and throw dodgeballs at me.
Timely reference.
You said it was a terrible idea. I offered to eat bar nuts off the ground.
Nobody knows what that
like
is.
Ruben impressing Polly, and along came Polly. Real Stiller fans know. But what we have settled on is, if the Knicks win the title, I will spend a literal night in a museum.
That I like.
Okay.
A
literal night in the museum.
Can I add something to it? I think while you're there in the museum, Gianna can probably do this. Not to add something to you, Gianna. You should have to watch on a loop once everyone falls asleep all your Thunder prophecy takes. I think that should be part of the penalty. You were talking about their inevitability, the dynasty, the statue for Presti, all of it.
It would be a great statue.
Yeah.
He's a real smart guy. Brian Hoyer joins us next about what the hell's going on in Minnesota. Coming up on the OT. Thanks for hanging out on the OT. Switch gears, talking some football with Super Bowl champ Brian Hoyer joining us. Let's go to Minnesota, where the Vikings had OTAs yesterday. Kyler Murray and J.J. McCarthy both spoke and gave some interesting answers about their relationship in the upcoming quarterback situation in Minnesota. Take a listen.
It's been great. Obviously, I know he's a younger guy, so any way I can help him. Obviously, I feel like I've played 7 years now, going on 8, so I'm considered a veteran, even though I don't see myself as that. Give him any knowledge that he needs. Again, we're both competitors, and I know we both want what's best for the team.
It's just like two guys in a classroom. He sits on one side, I sit on the other side, and it's the coach's responsibility to teach us and coach us.
Is there any awkwardness between you two?
Awkwardness, it's just like the same feeling, when you're in high school and there's another person on the other side of the room. That's just kind of how it is. So I wouldn't say there's any awkwardness.
All right, Brian, a lot to unpack there. Thank you for joining us. You've been a starter, you've been a backup, you've been in quarterback competitions. How should the Vikings handle this situation?
The Vikings got themselves in this situation when they went out and got Kyler Murray, right? And so this is going to go on until you have a starter. Having gone through this before, if it wasn't awkward before, I think that answer by J.J. McCarthy is going to make it a bit awkward. And I get it. Look, he's the incumbent, right? And this was supposed to be his job. It didn't go the way he wanted it to last year, dealt with some injuries. And here comes Kyler Murray in and is trying to take his job, and it's competitive. Kyler is the new guy in town, so he's handling it the right way. He's a veteran. He answered the questions like a pro, but you can see the irritation on J.J. McCarthy's face as he's trying to answer this question, and I get it. But there's part of being a professional, especially when you're handling the media and how you address those questions. And so I don't even know what that means. Like, it's in high school and we're in the same room together. I'm not really sure what he's trying to say. I think he's trying to say, it's going fine, but we're not the best of friends, and we're both trying to vie for the same job. So I understand, having gone through it. And I think the Vikings, you're hoping that Kyler Murray pushes J.J. McCarthy to the place where you believe that he was going to be and be your starting quarterback again. I think that they have to be hoping that he wins the starting job.
That J.J. McCarthy wins the starting job?
Yeah, because look, they invested in him, right? They traded up to get him. They let Sam Darnold walk out the door. They sit there and watch Sam Darnold go win a Super Bowl. They have to hope just to prove themselves right? Kevin O'Connell, this was your guy, that you can get out of J.J. McCarthy what you thought he was going to be, because if not, you let a guy who just won the Super Bowl walk out the door.
So I think that makes sense in a vacuum, and obviously you have been in all of these situations, and it will come as a huge shock to exactly nobody that I have never been in a quarterback situation at any level. I didn't play football. But actions speak louder than words. Like, Kyler Murray doesn't go to Minnesota if this is a real competition. There were other like Miami, Pittsburgh. There are other places he could have gone in order to have a shot at starting. Like, he went to Minnesota because J.J. McCarthy wasn't good enough, and he could work with Kevin O'Connell and Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison and play in a dome. Like, I am a gambler. I will be floored if J.J. McCarthy starts week 1 to the Vikings.
I don't disagree with you. I'm just saying, if you're the Vikings and you're the guy, you're the people who traded up to draft this guy, you obviously brought Kyler Murray in because you think he can still play. but you want him to push J.J. McCarthy to bring out the best in J.J. McCarthy. Now, to your point, if I'm Kyler Murray, am I going to go to Minnesota am I going to go to Miami where it's a rebuild, they got a new coach? No, I'm going to go to Minnesota because they have a proven coach in Kevin O'Connell who can develop quarterbacks. They have the talent around him. So, of course, I think if I'm Kyler Murray, it's a no-brainer. I think that I have a legitimate chance to win this job. And the question becomes, how long do you let this drag out? Having gone through these before, the longer it drags out, you have little pockets of the locker room, and some are siding with one quarterback and some are siding with the other. Like, if you're Kevin O'Connell, how long do you let this go on? Does each guy get to start a preseason game and then you make a decision? I don't know how that goes, and that's why I'm trying to say, like, if you're Kevin O'Connell, can you have an unbiased approach to this and not say, man, we were hoping J.J. McCarthy was our long-term guy. It didn't work out last year. Oh, here comes Kyler Murray. He's still young. How does that all play out?
Let's go to Philadelphia and talk Eagles, because for a long time we thought it was a done deal that A.J. Brown was going to the Patriots June 1st, right around the corner. Ian Rappaport, though, at least throwing that into some question with his latest, saying the Patriots are not willing to give up a first-round pick as of right now. That means they're not particularly close, and that means there's a chance this could drag on for the foreseeable future. Meanwhile, at OTAs, Jalen Hurts was asked about the trade rumors with A.J. Brown. Here is the Eagles quarterback.
I think for us, we're focused on learning the offense. It really doesn't change in terms of our approach to improve. There's an if. Obviously been a lingering thing, but nothing can replace all the greatness that we achieved together. Nothing's changed since we last spoke at the end of the season. We're really good.
Brian, is there any chance that this bell gets unrung and A.J. Brown's an Eagle this year?
I don't think so. I think both teams have already let the tea leaves out that, the Eagles trade up to draft Mekhi Lemon. They acquire Hollywood Brown. The Patriots don't really address their receiver room other than outside of Romeo Doubs. I think there's a deal in place. I think this is just a little bit of white noise before we get to the finish line. I expect A.J. Brown to be a Patriot.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Again, an actions over words thing, right? Drafting Mekhi Lemon, signing Hollywood Brown, signing Elijah Hicks, trading for Dontavian Wicks. Like, the Eagles have done everything they can to fill in the receiver room behind Devontae Smith. He didn't make it up out of nowhere, the reporting. So I do wonder if that is like Philly leaking it to try to get an extra team to come in and take him away from the Patriots. Like, I'm convinced A.J. Brown won't be an Eagle. I'm a little bit less convinced that he's going to be a Patriot based on that. It's still a heavy favorite that he goes there, but I wonder if that is Howie Roseman doing Howie Roseman things to trying to get a team to trade up and up their offer for A.J. Brown.
Yeah, I think this is maybe one last-ditch effort because it seems like it's been a foregone conclusion. A.J. Brown's going to the Patriots. Is it one last effort to say, hey, anybody out there willing to give a first-rounder for A.J.? Last chance. You know what I mean? And Howie Roseman's a great GM, so I wouldn't put it past him, and I respect Ian. So he's getting a legitimate report, but I still think this ends up going with the Patriots probably sometime next week.
Yeah, then I expect A.J. Brown to get 150 targets in New England and probably have an absolutely monstrous season. We'll talk about one of my favorite quarterbacks coming up with Brian Hoyer as we wrap it up here on the OT. Oh, I haven't seen a Justin Herbert pass in a while. It's going to be great. Welcome back to the OT. Still hanging out with Brian Hoyer, and great news. After going on tour with his singer-songwriter girlfriend, Madison Beer, Justin Herbert is back at Charger OTAs. I bet you Justin Herbert had a great offseason. Some coaches may not love that their quarterback is taking time off to go on a concert tour, but Jim Harbaugh, he's not all coaches. Here's what he had to say.
I was happy. We went to support Madison on her music tour. Madison supports him at the football games, and he told me he wasn't going to be here for those 2 weeks. And my first reaction was, "Do you need a ride to the airport?"
Serious journalism we're doing here on the OT. Brian, what would Bill Belichick have done? Would he have offered the ride to the airport for Justin Herbert?
I mean, the rest of the teams here, why don't you going to really go on a music tour and just, with your girlfriend? I mean, Coach Harbaugh's first name basis with Madison Beer. I love this. I mean, it seems like it's an AFC West thing. We got Travis going on tour with Taylor.
Yeah.
Now we got Justin on tour with Madison. I love that they're supportive spouses. And look, it's we were just talking in the break. It's May. We don't need to take everything so seriously. Justin Herbert's one of the best quarterbacks in the game. He's going to be just fine. I'm excited to see him pair with Mike McDaniel, but you got to love a Harbaugh clip in May. I have a funny story about him basically inviting himself to one of my teammates' weddings to do the readings in the wedding. So that's the type of coach you're dealing with. Great guy. Even though he went to Michigan, I'll let him have that.
You're going to give it up for the guy who went to Michigan, inviting himself to the wedding. I've invited myself to some bachelor parties before without being invited to the wedding. That's a whole different thing. Brian, thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon. Thank you for being with us on the OT.